smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
And so the Bears are sending their compensatory fourth-round pick to Jacksonville for Nick Foles.
I know we need to run the ball more. I'm not an idiot.
Keeping it 100.
Open competition.
Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Chicago Bears sweat. Full commit.
Guess who's back? The two dudes that kept it real. The dynamic duo that you love, the smartest man and Dr. Phil. Breaking down the film, never a problem, kick it straight. Most shows focus on stats, we focus on the tape. We keeping it 100, never running east or west. We coming with that truth, cause that's what our fans expect. Cut off the freaking anchor, moving forward to be free. But don't you worry, Shayne's got the dumbest tweets. It ain't no secret, Phil and Shayne got some haters. But now the mouth stuck like the Jew and now and laters. Debaters, stars get kicked like Coach Tabor. Cuts had to be made, we added a barber moderator. Up and down, boys got you double checking. Sad sacks strolling like a fool drunk texting. Flexing on the truth cause you know they'll never change. Real, recognize real, that's what you get with Phil and Shayne. 100's what we do when we're breaking down the Bears. Fuck a play or a captain, all of the upstairs. The tape never lies, the truth you see, we analyze, so there's no babies like Maybelline. Straight to the truth with acumen and facts. We got a stat nerd, but he's not just giving nerd stats. Hard crash, big impact like Max Sack. Every Wednesday night you got the smartest man and Phil back. Now we know you're smiling like a fat kid with fun dip. We're back better than ever and we keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100, baby.
Keep it 100. Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100, baby.
Keep it 100.
Keeping it 100.
What's up, everybody? It's Ryan Nall here with the Chicago Bears. You're keeping it 100 on the Tape Never Lies Network.
Boom.
Look at this guy.
This guy. One take, no. You are Hollywood now.
The following show is for mature audiences only. Shy City Sports. Previously on Keeping It 100.
Don't be bullshitting anybody. I'm telling you right now, you can't be. Because it's going to show right up in that film, boy. The tape never lies.
Just talk about that. I don't want to get you in trouble, but this is Keeping It 100. So you get 80 yards on one carry, then you only see 11 carries in that game.
Hey, I just run the play. I don't got nothing to say about it. I just go out there and play, man. Do what I can do when I can do.
You're not building fucking rockets to go to fucking Mars.
Well, you can do it. You are. I tell Coach Nagy, Draft Dr. Phil told him the identity of your offense is found through number 32. I'm not saying that because you're here. I say that every week, and all these fans know it. This guy, David Montgomery, with Hollywood Rye. A new nickname, Hollywood Rye, on the Tape Never Lies, Keeping It 100.
Listen up. This is our time now. Second half is our time.
You can showcase a power through contact and balance like that. Is that something that you were just born with, or is it an attitude that you have?
Yeah, I definitely think like everything that I've been through kind of like it gives me the opportunity to unleash all of it when I get on the field. So like my will to not want to go down, like that's not because I just get up every day like I want to do it just like the way I play. Like I wear it all on my sleeve and on my shoulders. You know, I just love this game. And, you know, the last thing I want to do leaving the game is tell myself I got regrets and not going hard enough for everybody around me. So I just do what I can when I can. No matter how I can, I'm going to get it done.
Keep it 100. The tape never lies.
Accountability is there from the coaching staff to you guys. Now, if they go out and they see the left tackle whiff completely on her block or not do what he's supposed to doing, is he getting his ass called out publicly in front of the entire room every week?
It's funny that you kind of brought it towards that. We do this thing, and this year was the first, with Coach Nagy, at least in my time being there, was the first year that we've done it. Yeah. Where he
talked about that publicly.
Did
he did. Oh yeah.
Yeah. The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah.
And the team meeting Tuesday morning or Wednesday morning, whenever it is. All of us, the whole team in there, coaches, strength staff, everybody's in there. And we go through and we put the good plays on there, the bad plays on there, the great plays on there, and the ugly plays on there. And no one's pointing fingers, all this and that, but he's putting it up there so that everyone can see it as a team and to get that sense of accountability to make you want to be like, all right, I'm letting my guys down. They see what I did wrong. How can I change it next time? And I love that because shit happens in football. We all know, every play is not going to be a perfect play. Something's going to happen. But when it does click and you do get that one couple great plays that he puts on there, the energy in the room does get lifted, and then vice versa. When you get them shitty plays on there, especially coming after a loss, it's like, damn, like that one block, or like, damn, that one gap assignment, whatever it may be. It really makes you want to play for your teammates that much more.
Tape never lies.
And I put out my series defending David Montgomery because a lot of these blog boys, these fucking stat trolls out there looking for stats and not recognizing the effort and the showcase of power through contact and balance like that. Is that something that you were just born with, or is it an attitude that you have?
Yeah, I definitely think like everything that I've been through kind of like gives me the opportunity to unleash all of it when I get on the field. So like my will to not want to go down, like that's not because I just get up every day like I want to do it, just like the way I play. Like I wear it all on my sleeve and on my shoulders.
Motion across from Mooney. Montgomery working his way over the right side towards the goal line, and he's in for the touchdown. David Montgomery breaks the plane for the second time today.
Sam has his flaws right now that he can improve on 100%. But you can't teach when a guy brings that fucking swag and that mentality at such a young age to that line. I mean, is that something that you could feel?
Oh yeah,
as a guy on the field with him, that this dude, I mean, he didn't give a shit who it was. I mean, he was sprinting downfield and he's like, no, and I mean, he was throwing dudes off of piles and just speak on that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he comes from Notre Dame, and that's not some small Division I school like Oregon State.
Pool and Weed Eater both champs every year.
Hey, man, that's really top notch. And you said it, like he is the kind of dude, like he's got dog.
Yeah,
like he doesn't give a fuck who he's going up against. He's going to give it his all every single time. And one thing too that a lot of people probably didn't see, and Coach Nagy himself pointed it out on tape, is him and Alex Bars were the first two guys to go pick up the ball carrier every single play.
Phil and I talked about it. So it stuck out, man. And it's and Ryan, quite honestly, that was lacking on your guys' offense before they came in there. It really was. It really was.
When I see Ryan Nall go up and put a fucking lick on somebody, or you saw it in your touchdown. Who's over there, running over there? Those two. Exactly. Giving you a hug. The reality is, football is the ultimate team game. That's why I laugh. You heard me in the rant. Like, don't give me Andy Dalton's fucking win-loss record. That's not how you analyze players. And don't ever do that. You can never measure the man based on that. How excited are you going into this season? As Ryan said, now Andy Dalton's come in. They've named him number one. There's none of that bullshit going down. How you're going to be used in this offense in regards to running it with Andy Dalton. How excited are you about that?
Yeah, I'm real excited. You know, I'm gonna be real honest with you. I'm excited as far as like the untapped potential that I haven't reached yet. That I know I'm capable of reaching, and where I can show you guys what I can do. I don't know what I'm gonna be to the offense, but I know that whatever role that I have, I'm gonna do it to the best of my ability and give 110% for the brothers around me. So we get this thing rolling, man, because Chicago deserves it. And I want to be here and be one of the people that help change the program so that we can get what we deserve. I just want it. I just want this shit bad, you know. So I'll push myself to the extra limit.
My boy, Draft Dr. Phil, who was on the show a couple of weeks ago, we're really high on Mac Jones.
Get out of the way. I said put it in pen that Mac Jones is going 3. I said it for fucking weeks. Not weeks. Whenever the 49ers traded up, I said it right then and there on the show. So all these other come on. Mac Jones is going 3. Shayne and I have loved Mac Jones. I'm step for step with Shayne again on Mond.
So I just do what I can when I can. No matter how I can, I'm going to get it done.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Keeping It 100. Obviously, the barber has left the building tonight. This is your boy, Draft Dr. Phil, taking over for Claudio, the barber. He had a little family issue. And listen, on this network, we don't tolerate fucking racist motherfuckers. We don't tolerate ignorance. We step to the plate, handle the truth. We always say family first. With that, the best Chicago Bears show on the planet. I'm never afraid to battle that shit out with anybody. It's not a race. It's just the reality of the truth, as I say. And I'm proud of that because I'm proud each and every Wednesday night to see these 100 crew heads and fans all around the world jump in and join us live. There's no Claudio tonight, but we do have the smartest man, Shayne, the smartest man, Marsaw. And if you're not keeping score at home, I've counted 11 articles that have been written by Sports Mockery without crediting Shayne and Phil.
It's an amazing coincidence, Philip. Amazing.
I see Kellen Mond's people are starting to like Kellen Mond, coincidentally, after he threw a nice pass in fucking pro day.
Takes one pass at a pro day. Everybody goes fucking crazy. Yeah.
And we could wrap up the show now.
Thank you for coming, everybody. You're going to hit a fucking iceberg. Like the SS Brawl is fucking sinking right now. Everybody's fucking going down.
That's why I say, I mean, listen, this is called Keeping It 100. We got a great show tonight. We have Matt Waldman, not Mark or Marty. We got Matt Waldman. He's going to be joining us around 10 East. So that is 9 East for you, Greg Braggs, if you're in the chat. We also got Tay Gowan, corner, UCF. His story we're going to be getting into. We also are tonight. I'm excited, probably the most. I don't really get nervous, but tonight I've been nervous because you put a lot of weeks and effort into something, and then you're ready to unveil it. So if you're new to this network, Bears Hour Live, best post-game show on the Bears. I'll put that up there with anybody. I'll tell anybody that. Even all of the media heads, all of my boys, I'll compete with them. That's what I do. And if I'm not competing, I probably shouldn't be. I'm probably not breathing because I am the most competitive little fucker you'll ever meet in your life.
What?
That being said, original song open, Bears Hour Live, right? Tonight, that's me singing the song. People don't realize. Keeping It 100, that's me. The whole thing, produced, this, okay? Tape never lies. When the videos, they go live, the tape never lies, it never does. It makes the story true for us. Analytics makes them look like fools. It's up to me to educate you. Draft Doctor. That's original song. Again. So you're getting the pattern here. So I got my hands in so many fucking buckets with shit falling from the sky. I said, one day I want love to find someone to help me to hear. Because Shayne will tell you, I'm a lot of things. I know I can be a pain in the ass and demanding and all that shit. But the reality is I'm a perfectionist when it comes to music. I got a vibe. And the true story, I'll bring this guy in to tell it, but I'll say it a little bit. Shayne says this guy actually took your song and he did a remix to it. I was like, what song? He's like, Bears Hour Live. I go, really? Let me hear it. He's like, yeah, he sent it to both of us, but I got to hear it. He sends it to me. And you know, I've heard so many people send me shit from music and stuff. And this, though, I was like, holy shit, this might be better than my version. True story. And the reality is, every end of the show now, we play the remix done by this guy, who now is the music director here at the Tape Never Lies Network. All original music, except when Shayne gets pissed off and I introduce guests. But Cool Kennedy has promised that he will produce beats for all our guests going forward. Shayne is 6'3", 6'3". All of it, too. I stood right next to him. I'll have to send that picture out. But without further ado, as we, like I teased you, we're going to unveil the Blog Boys song. As you know, I came up with this term, and I guess a couple of these Blog Boys have embraced it. Good for them. They know who they are. They're going to love this song. But before we do, let's bring our guest, the music director, in our special way, Shayne. The TTNL way. You know how we do 100 Crew, like this. Here he is.
Man.
Cool.
Hey, that was a surprise, man. I feel the tears rolling. Remembering that, man. How'd you get them pictures, man? I didn't even send those to you. My God.
I DM'd your mom.
That's what's up.
And I was like, can you give me some pictures of Cool when he was in high school and middle school? I want to see some of these running back pics. Sure enough,
we got
came through.
We got more picks, but we're gonna reveal those on a later show, bro.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man.
Well, you are the musical director here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You have taken that job. I gave a little bit of it. Tonight we're gonna slam home our original song, me and you together. It's crazy how technology is, but if we lived in the same hood, fucking forget about it. We'd have some platinum going on.
Yeah.
But maybe this will go. But the reality is, when your sons and your daughters are singing hooks and people are singing your song, that's the ultimate for me at this point with the podcast and the shows and everything we do and the tape breakdowns and the players coming on the show. TTNL is obviously where it's at. I have player agents reaching out to me tonight. Hey, when can I get my client to come on the show? That's where we are. So but you talk a little bit about, before we unveil what you produced, really, let's talk about Bears Hour Live. You took that, and then what we're going to do as far as original content, and we're going to put out an album, me and Cool Kennedy, a TTNL album that's going to be released. Patrons will have first dibs. It's going to be all the original stuff, right?
Yep, already, man. And it's like, basically, when I first heard the Bears Hour Live song, it resonated with me because I was watching the tape, watching Tape Never Lies, you going over the tape. I love that whole aspect of the footage, the film, getting that behind the scenes. But then, like, I kept hearing the intros, and I'm like, oh man, this dude, I know it's him because it sounds familiar. I heard you in it. So like there might be some people who didn't recognize you, but I definitely heard it, you know. So I'm like, man, this dude does music, man. He's into football. You know, there's very few people that you get to meet or get introduced to, and there's like two things we have in common off top. So like I was like, I felt like I had to like, man, let me reach out to this dude. I was like, I heard my daughter singing the Bears Hour Live hook because I was singing it. And I was, you know what I mean, just doing chores and stuff around the house. But like she started repeating it. I'm like, you know what? Let me remake that, man, just because I can. You know what I mean? I was like, let me send it to him and see what he says. And then the rest is history, man. You reach back and you were good peoples, man. So, you know, this is to something like that we can build on, you know.
Now we're all family, like real talk. I love the fans. I mean, we have some of the most rabid fans to get there and be live and have hundreds of people tune in live and then downloads afterwards and views on YouTube and what have you. It's overwhelming. This part of it, I just, you know, to see, I don't know how God works. Like we've all made mistakes in our lives, but it's those of us that can embrace those mistakes and learn from that. That's what life really, the essence of it is, to realize, hey, I fucked up there as a father or a friend, a husband, a daughter, a son, whatever it is. And then you learn from that. For me, I was so competitive. I don't want nobody's help. I'm going to do it all. But God spoke to me, true story. It was like, I wish someone, so I don't have to like find someone who's producing and then I write to them, because that's what I was doing. And then us getting together, connecting like that to embrace this journey from what you've brought to the table with X's, with the O's, the Draft Mob song. These songs just resonate with the fans. Like people, even in Connecticut, I'm going down the street, Bears Hour Live. I'm like, what's up? It's like that's
the kids
where
in the
we're
car.
at.
The kids in the car demand it when you're
Exactly,
driving down the road.
Exactly, and then I haven't had a lot of time to do parody songs, and there's a Manscaped song that Cool came up with the hook, and I got to write the lyrics. But oh my God, that song is gonna be a fucking banger, as the kids, the millennials would say. Like Tay, when he comes on, that's a banger. Oh yeah. Maybe there's a new word. I don't know. I know Tay's in the green room now, but we are going to we're going to unveil the new Blog Boy song. Now, let me set this up. For years, I've fought with all of these writers, nerds, whatever you're talking, that never played a down of football, but have figured it all out. Robert Schmitz, I've called him out on how he's saying Charles Leno is average, and that's okay. No, in football, average at left tackles like average at quarterback. Are you winning a fucking championship with that? No. The goal should be, Charles is an NFL football player. I've said this many a times. The goal should be for him to be the best and work on his craft. And Tay can hear this. I'm so fucking tired of you players working your asses off to get drafted, then you get there and you don't do the same shit. Take that pride. That's where the bet. You think Walter Payton took a fucking day off? He's wearing fucking Hills. That's what separates him.
Did you hear that? You hear that Silky D interview yesterday?
Oh, I did.
Ooh.
I was there, man. He
was dropping.
We're gonna have to have him on Keepin It 100 because apparently he does.
Oh yeah,
he work to get to a point, and
he gave exactly no fucks. I'll tell you that. It was good to hear too. Yeah,
and that's our boy. Shout out to our boys, the Chicago Clubhouse podcast. My boy T Nick and Jay Bowles. Love what they're doing. I always give my word. I'm gonna help. Real recognizes real. Real talk. We're gonna let me finish explaining. Blog boys, manipulators, using stats and analytics to define someone like our next guest. Not watching tape, just going by their 40 time, just going by how many tackles they had in a game, but not recognizing that the reason why they had so many tackles is because they let their guy open and then finished and clean. Well, he had 8 tackles. He's a corner. What a great job. Well, his guy caught 8 balls on him. That's the problem. His coach is pissed off. That's the reality of truth. Blog Boys, as you know, have a stat. They've made Kellen Mond a second-round pick, or he's going in the first. You can't hype this stuff. You have to watch the tape. Do you have anything you want to say here on this monumentous night?
Man, Blog Boys, man, like you introduced me to that term, and I knew about it. Like most of the time we call them trolls, but Blog Boys is a different level. It's in your world, like the blogs that run concurrent to your guys' content, and it's like that's your arch nemesis, man. But you kind of need them like the Joker. So like they make you better. They make you better. You know what I'm saying? You need them.
This is why I told Shayne in a private conversation, I go, I honestly, I fucking love this dude. He's like, who's that? I go, Cool Kennedy. He just can articulate thoughts and do things beyond my expectation of, oh, that's exactly how I would love to have said that. That's exactly a great analogy. You produce this beat. I work this way real quick, and then we'll come back and bring Tay and everything and go from there. But you produce music. I'm a guy that needs to hear it in order to come up. They called me the hook man. So Busta Rhymes, back in the day, true story, called me the hook man because I could hear any song and I would come up with a hook for those groups. I did PM Dawn and yada, yada. So when I heard this beat, I came up with the hook. I recorded it. I sent it to you with the worst copy you can ever hear, right? And then you were like, yo, I like that shit. And then we rocked and we rolled with it. And next time we're going to produce a world premiere intro. But tonight we're just going to rock it right here. Unless you have something else you want to say. You ready?
Let's get it. Let's get it.
This is it. 2021 April, the Blog Boys song. Real quick. David Montgomery, because a lot of these blog boys, these fucking stat trolls, you'll see the fucking blog boys talking about this.
Blog boys and haters, trolls on Twitter, false manipulators. Oh yeah, blog boys and haters, trolls on Twitter, snap manipulators. Oh yeah, take it to the level that most never thought of. This crazy world, people treat a keyboard like a sword off. Narrative crusher, so many demons I don't fought off. Take never lies, blog boys get fucking caught. PFS with the fishes, but they still gonna troll. Putting warrants on top, make them look like an asshole. Nagy calling plays, but no clue on personnel. Running toss the CP, short side behind Leno. These dudes on that block like J-Lo. Montgomery is elite, cause DDP says so. Front office nightmare like the haunted of Hill House. Blog boys get to step in and take your boy Millhouse. Blog boys and haters, trolls on Twitter, fraud manipulators. Oh yeah, blog boys and haters, trolls on Twitter, snap manipulators. Oh yeah.
Word. Blog boys changing stats like report cards. No PFF, straight F-Soul and no scorecard. You gotta have heart to play. A little soul like Marvin Gaye goes a long way. Throw the strong fade at an out route. Power, I see the end zone. I hope Maggie takes a smart route and gives a play calls like McCaskey money. Blog boys and haters talking, but they stats is funny. The tape never lies. Think it's when you get smacked with honey and get swept like the tight end on 4th and 1 tries. We big time, you small fries. Twitter fingers typing for the clout. They never trend, they all cry.
Blog boys and haters, trolls on Twitter, fraud manipulators. Oh yeah, blog boys and haters, trolls on Twitter, snap manipulators. Oh yeah, blog boys and haters, trolls on Twitter, snap manipulators. Oh yeah, yeah. blog boys get fucking caught off. TTNL. Always speaking the truth. The tape never lies.
Oh, there it is. The Blog Boys song.
Awesome work, gentlemen. Love it.
Hey, man, that's a COVID collab for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. COVID collab.
What'd you say about collaboration?
we don't bring that up on this network, bro.
It really was. Listen, Cherie is always my test right there. Where is she? Where's Cherie? There it is. Our producer, Cherie, gives it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 claps. Thank you, guys. That's the debut of Blog Boys. I want Cool Kennedy to stick around and be involved in this interview coming up. You cool with that?
Down, man.
I don't want to keep him in the waiting area. He came on early. I like that as a coach. That's telling me he's prepared. He's ready to rock and roll. There's no script on this show, so we just roll by the hammer. But I want you to stay on, and we'll get Tay's true Keeping It 100 review.
He was smiling back there.
I saw him smiling. Yeah, he's like, "Holy fuck, this motherfucker can rap too." What is up into?
Short white boy can spit some bars. He was impressed.
I've been producing for like 72 hours. Tomorrow, don't even fucking bother me. I'm gonna be resting because I'm not bringing Tay in like this, like any other show would. We bring him in the TTNL way, not the Blog Boy way. Fuck a Blog Boy. We do it our way. This is our guy from the UCF, Tay Gowan.
This guy started his college football career at Miami of Ohio before deciding to transfer in order to get more playing time. Prior to coming to UCF, Gowan spent time playing at Butler Community College in Kansas and ended up ranking the number 9 junior college cornerback in the country. As a redshirt junior at UCF in 2019, he played 12 games while starting 9. He opted out of the 2020 season out of concerns for the health of his prematurely born daughter. So that says all we need to know about the man he truly is. TTNL fans, let's give this guy a proper TTNL welcome. Give it up for the 2021 NFL Draft prospect, Tay Gowan.
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah, how you guys doing, man? That intro was fire.
That's what we do here. Now, what was more fire, the intro or the Blog Boy song?
I like the Blog Boy. That was real creative right there.
Oh, okay.
That both surprised me about that. I like that. The lyrics was on point, man. It just all creative, man.
Beautiful, beautiful. How you doing tonight, my man?
Pretty
doing
good. I just got done doing some field work, so.
Nice. There's nothing wrong with doing field work.
That's right.
Getting yourself prepared. I know you heard me, and I'll kick this off. And cool, you're just going to jump in with the flow. You have a football acumen that I trust anyway. But the reality is what I said to open. A lot of these players work their asses off, and then they get to the point of getting the ticket, the golden ticket, into Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, aka the NFL. Then they get there and they don't work the same way. My advice, as well as my question to you, and I know a lot of GMs and scouts watch, so are you going to just take that baton? Obviously, your story is we're going to get into, and I believe I know where you're going with this, but I think it's important that you answer, is this something that is all about you as you move forward to the NFL?
To answer that, I want people to understand I've been playing football since I was 5 years old. I live and die. This is what I want to do. I'm not just going to get to the NFL and just not work as hard as I worked hard to get here because I put everything into getting here. Like I even went the JUCO route. I want people to understand like how much motivation you gotta have to do that, even betting on yourself. So I'm getting to the NFL and I'm going to take full advantage of all the resources, and I'm going to up my game every year. And I'm going to try to be the best corner I can for my team. So that's how I'm looking at it. And I got a daughter to provide for. I'm a father first, so I'm not just gonna. That's giving up on her, and I can't do that.
Tay, you mentioned your daughter right there, and that's where I was going to kick things off, because beyond football, I mean, we all have real lives, and it's easy to, especially in your situation, it's easy to get caught up in everything and really overlook what's really, really important. But your daughter being born prematurely, first and foremost, how is she doing?
She's doing better. Her health status not as where I wanted to, but she's doing better.
Yep. So
how old is she now? I'm sorry.
She's about to turn 2 July 10th.
Just 2 years old.
Yeah.
That's my daughter's age. Got a baby girl that's 2. I got 2 daughters. Welcome
Shane's
to my
about
world.
to have a daughter.
Yeah, and I got a daughter coming in
hope
2
this shit ain't
months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Girl
Hashtag
dads,
girl dad. That's right. That's right. But Tay, like, we want to, we've all been blown away. Berlissimo, George, talking to you and reaching out, blown away by your story. Just kick it off and take us through the Tay story. You've never been handed anything in your life, and it's so impressive. But just talk about it, man.
Yeah. So like I said, I started playing football when I was 5 years old. I come from a single mom. I always been the big brother. I always took that role as, they didn't have their fathers in their life, so that was important to me to show my youngest that I could be their father in their life. So that's how they look at me. Besides looking at me as a big brother, we come from poverty. I just hate to even try to put my mom down like that, but that's just the whole truth behind the situation. We come from nothing. I never let my situation get the best of me. Even though when I was struggling and going through the things I went through, I always kept my grades because I always knew I wanted to go to the NFL. Never been arrested or anything like that, and that just played a part in like how serious I was about getting to the point I wanted to get to. I played 1 year high school football due to like me moving around, like our living situation, like being homeless, living inside cars, and just like living on people's couch and stuff like that. So my senior year, I was able to live with a friend, and I was able to lock in because I wanted to play football. I was like, man, this is my life. This is what I got to do, Mom. Like, I got to step away from y'all real quick, and I got to go live with a friend to help me out so I can be the best I could be on the field. And I ended up getting a scholarship to Miami, Ohio. I spent 2 years there. It was never like I couldn't play there. It was more like I had to get surgery on my shoulder. I got my surgery late of me arriving there, and that took into my next year. Me just rehabbing. So when I fully recovered, I was like, man, you know what? I'm finna go JUCO. I'm finna bet on myself. I look at it as another year of high school football. So I'm like, okay, let me try to get all the offers again if I would have played 2 years in high school football. So I went there, did my thing. I give all glory to God for that, because without him, I wouldn't even be in this position today. So let me get that out of the way. I ended up going to UCF, and a player had went down, and I was just fortunate enough to be the next man up, and I took full advantage. I prepared myself like I was the day one starter from the beginning.
Follow Tay right there at the bottom of the screen at focus_4. Do you have an Instagram, Tay? Because I'm on Instagram. I don't do Twitter.
Yes, sir. TAY 11K_.
Jackal, our producer, TAY _ what?
11K_.
11K_. Right.
There you go. Get that up there too. I'm gonna follow you, Draft Dr. Phil _Toshin, whatever the fuck my Instagram. But I'm gonna keep track of you because we have a surprise for you, which we're gonna say later in the show. But let me just say something. I'm sorry. Cool if you had something, but the epitome of integrity and compassion is, as a father, I can't even imagine my son or anybody living in their car in high school, getting prepared to go to school, study, and play the game of football with a dream. Like, I didn't know your story. I didn't want to hear Barlissimo or Shayne or anybody tell me your story. I wanted to hear from you.
Yes, sir.
So I'm sitting here as a dad. I have twin boys upstairs. I have 2 daughters too. I got 4 kids.
Correct.
And the reality is, talent can only get you so far. My father would always tell me, he was a head coach, Hall of Fame head coach. He's got a stadium named after him in Connecticut here. He would tell me, potential only gets you this far. Can't win with potential. And those things are so true because everybody's. I learned when I went to Hofstra on a scholarship, everybody was great. I was the shit, I thought. Then I went there. Everybody's great. So it's those guys that have this story, that have this drive. Follow Tay. Pray for Tay. Because you know what I'm saying? Because your story isn't over. And tonight, again, I just need you to speak on what was in your head as you made that decision to get up. I'm going to go back. You're homeless in high school, right?
Yes, sir.
There's nothing to be ashamed of. Please. The only one judging you is a racist piece of shit out there. You know what I'm saying? Because you're the guy that has nothing, and I get goosebumps saying this, that goes to fucking school to learn and get better. That's what it's there for. You took advantage of what was given to you.
Yeah, you're the blueprint, Tay.
You're the blueprint of what America is and what it should be about. So to hear you talk about what you tell me, I'm the GM. What made you get up and go to school? Was it your mom? Was it your family?
Yes,
what
sir.
was
At
it?
The time, yes, sir. At the time, I didn't even I didn't have my daughter, so just seeing my mom cry and stuff like that, just knowing that like she's.
Someone was calling you.
Oh, we lost his audio. There he is. We got you now.
We got you. Someone was calling you, right?
Yes, sir.
No worries. Go ahead. Finish what you were saying.
Yes, sir. Just seeing her cry and stuff like that, knowing that she's going to Burger King and like trying to like just bust her butt like just for us to even make a living. So I knew I had to work just as hard. I didn't want to be this selfish kid, just kid that just want things, and just knowing my mom just striving to do her best for her kids, like without no help or anything like that. So I just got up every day and put my best foot forward. That's how I look at it.
Tay, when you talk about doing what's best for your kids, we mentioned in your intro there that you opted out with COVID with concerns about your premature daughter. Take us back. Yeah.
Another showcase of integrity there in class.
Take us back to that decision. And I just want to, I'm sure you've seen it all in the NCAA being a football player at different levels. And we all know how the athlete can really get overlooked. And it's about the almighty dollar, even when you're talking about the NCAA. When you made that decision as a father to do what was best for you and your daughter, what was the reaction at UCF, and was there any blowback privately when you made that decision?
No, so I think the coaches understood my situation. They was there from the beginning of when my daughter was born and how long she had to stay in the incubator, hooked up to all these wires and stuff, and they knew the situation and how I felt about my daughter. So they was pretty good with me. Obviously, they're a little upset because they're losing one of their best players. So I could see it in a way they was kind of upset. But when it all boils down to it, was the most important thing is to make sure she's okay.
That's a testament to your school, man, that they that they had your back like that. That's very good to hear, because I said I got some college stories that don't usually go that way. They really don't care about anything personal, and that's a testament to everybody at UCF that they give you that support system like that. So that's great to hear, bro.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you this, Tay. You're sitting there. Obviously, Shayne asked you, but the decision to do it, I think, was very difficult for you because you're put into a corner because you want to take care of the child, and the goal is the NFL, right?
Right.
The reality is that decision that you made was the right one. And if I'm a coach or a GM, I see it that way, of a winning fucking team. I don't know Collaboration Studios up in Dallas how they see it, but I know how I see it. I see this is a heart of a champion. This is somebody that I want in the locker room. Your tape tells me you're tall, you have great footwork speed, you can go up and press people, and obviously we're going to get into some football, but that's what I see on the tape that I saw of you. Obviously, it's 2019 tape. Other people I saw, other networks that brawl, were yelling at Eddie Goldman for taking the same route that you took for his family, where this network was like, it sucks that we're not going to have probably the best nose guard in the league, but you respect the family decision. And really, I have nothing. I don't even have a question here. My statement is, I'm blown away by you, sir. I'm blown away by the integrity of you. Now, cool. Do you have a question for him you wanted to ask him? Because I have football questions. This story, though, is amazing. It's amazing. Have you ever seen the movie Safety on Disney Plus? If you don't, none of you have?
I don't think so.
Have you seen it? So the story is the mother is a drug addict. The brother, there's no one to take care of his little brother. So he sneaks his little brother into Clemson and he keeps him in his dorm room. All the players know and everyone's hush hush. They don't want the coaches to know. Well, they find out. The NCAA makes this big thing. And where is the line? Is it family or is it athletics and bullshit and politics? And finally, they made the decision. And it's a beautiful story, and it carries over to you. Football, to me, is the greatest game in the world because it's a team game. You need the fat guy. You need the kicker. You need the Canadian guy. You need the Mexican guy. You need every race, nationality together working for one goal, and that's to win. So your story has won me over. Your win is the integrity that you are. Now, you're working your ass off to get to the league. Your NFL, your skill set. Where is the weakness in your mind that you got to improve on, that you're working on? What is that?
I think for the biggest weakness for me is not really a weakness, I say, but I want to get more comfortable in off man because, like you said, I'm usually in press coverage. And our defense scheme, we didn't really play a lot of off man, but I can do it. I want to show that I can do it. So I definitely want to showcase that talent. And I want to be a better blitzer off the edge. They sent me on a couple of blitzes in my 2019 season. I made the play, but I feel like I can be more aggressive and I can attack it more like I can, like use my speed off the edge. So,
well, Tay, if you figure out the off man thing and how to blitz and make your name at cornerback in the NFL, bro, you're not gonna have to worry about sleeping in cars anymore. You're gonna be able to buy the fucking lot when you walk on there. So you got to keep that mentality. And we love to hear that.
I just want a PS5 out of this deal.
But we're just a few short days away here from the NFL draft. And have you gotten feedback about where, like an area of the draft where they're telling you to maybe that you should be expecting to going? Has anybody shared that with you?
Yes, sir. In the second and third round range, but at the end of the day, all I need is opportunity. I'll take the hard road again. Like if everybody want to sleep on me, I just take the hard. It's just gonna add more to the story. So it'll pay off in the end. Like the story will be even better. So either route is okay with me.
Yeah, wherever you get drafted. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Say, man, hearing your story is like, it reminds me of the fact that you guys are beyond athletes. You guys are people. You guys have stories, man. Like hearing a story like yours, I knew a couple of friends in high school. They were going through a similar situation. And we all have that choice. We all have that route that we take, that, you know, getting up every day is an option, whether you're in a good situation or a bad situation. But it takes that much more when you're in a negative space and have those, it's an easy option to do the wrong thing because you're in a bad spot. And
Right.
I've been around guys who made those decisions. I made boneheaded decisions, and it's like it's big ups to people like you, man. Like who, like you said, you are the American story, the ones that you make it from the bottom and you accomplish. And it's like your story's not over. And it's like I love hearing stories like you, man. I hope one day I get to see the movie on it. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. That'd be amazing right there.
I look at your Instagram. I'm about to press follow live on the air here. Next, NFL legend DB.
And that's been in there since high school, so I won't be understand that.
So no, I like that because the reality is you have to have a swagger. You have to have confidence when you're playing outside at corner, because when the cornerback, and you look at some of the top ranking, there he is, number 9 there, our producer pulling up your rankings there. And the reality is it's never where you start. It's always where you finish. So no matter where you get drafted, you have the opportunity to be great. Now we have a friend of our show, Lemuel Stinson. He was an 8th round pick or 7th round pick, 6th round pick, wherever he was. And all of a sudden he's starting for the Bears in 1987. After they had won the Super Bowl, he's playing with all these Hall of Famers and legends. The game wasn't, he's 5'9", 170 pounds. And he's playing his ass off. When I look at you, I want to see your physicality through tackling, because every corner can play corner, and every corner is going to get beat. There's a level of we used to call it, you got to have a towel. I used to say to my corners, why is that, coach? Not to wipe the sweat off, just to wipe off that play and go on to the next. Forget it.
I ain't heard that before.
Got to go to the next play. Someone's going to beat you. There's always somebody that's going to beat you. They're going to trick you. Then don't let them trick you the next time. That's what I see in your only weakness in my eyes is I want to see you become the killer that got out of that car every day to go to high school football practice while these other dudes are going home and 3 square meals. You're looking for your next meal. And then tap into that, because that attitude it's uncoachable. You have to have a mentality, and I believe that you have it. That physicality, I think that's the only area where I honestly have no doubt that you could play off man coverage. You got great get off, as Ryan Pace would say. Where is he? He would say that. You got great, you're able to come up on those shallow crosses and catch up to that receiver and knock him on his ass. You saw this one highlight that I put in your intro. You're chasing down somebody who's beating everybody. You're showing that hustle. Physicality is where you're going to make your name, because I know you have it. Your story breeds it. Right there, top 9 corner in this draft. I look at you and I see height. You check off all the boxes. What did you run in your pro day? 4.4?
4.41.
4.41. World-class speed, folks.
Are they changing UCF? Is that going to be known as DBU now?
I think so.
You got a safety in the draft. You got your other corner, Andre Roberts, right?
Aaron Robinson.
Thank you, Aaron Robinson. And then you, our guy, Tay. If you're not following Tay, I just followed him on Instagram. Make sure that you get that. Tay, there's Barrelissimo. And off man, they throw that curl. Tay will 6 that shit. Just come up, get off on that break, and steal that football. There's nothing like that. I miss that from our Chicago Bears, having those. Jalen Johnson came in here with a reputation of being that guy. We just haven't seen the catches, the completions. I used to say that kid got great speed, and he dropped 8 balls. I go, oh, he's going to be our next corner. So don't be that guy. Work on your hands and your physicality. Let me ask you this, though. When you meet with these scouts and, they come and you've met with every team, right?
Probably like 13, 14 of them.
13, 14 teams. They sit you down. Is it more of a Zoom thing? Has this COVID thing been really difficult on the process for you?
Not so much. We sit down, do a Zoom, and like they'll put like their defense on there, then go over mine, and I had to iterate their defense and like make sure like I can understand what's going on and stuff like that. So I think I'm pretty strong in those type of areas. So it wasn't difficult. And most times I go in there with a shirt and tie, like just I want to tell everything a business pro. So that's how I'm treating.
Tay, what are your plans for draft weekend? We do the Thursday, Friday, Saturday thing. Do you have any plans with family and friends and your daughter, or what's going on then?
Yeah, like I said, my family's real small. It's probably just me, my mom, my 2 sisters, my little brother, my daughter, and the mother.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, though, man.
That's all my family ever been. I
keep it tight.
Stuff like that might want to show up, but it's very few of them, like 3 or 4 of them. So yeah,
we were gonna have
this people I slept in the G with, really.
We were gonna have Tay on our patron show, Draft Mob, on Sunday, but we thought it was way more important to get Tay's story out to our fans and the people, all the people that watch this show and GMs and people of that nature, because we really believe. I know Berlissimo and Shayne believe in this guy, and I really came in. I told she's like, who are the guests you're having on tonight? Because it kind of came last minute, so you weren't in the thumbnail, but I'll make sure I get you in that thumbnail. And I told her your story, and she's like, I only know his tape. I don't know. I know he's got a story, and George was trying to tell me the whole thing, and I just completely blocked it out because I like to feel out an interview, because that's where I feel like GM scouts get the best. We don't get this with every, I really like Mac Jones, the quarterback, but I sit down with Mac Jones. Have you ever seen the movie Draft Day?
I think I have seen that one.
So the GM sits down with the fucking number one, everyone's number one, and in 2 minutes he knows this is an arrogant fucking scumbag that's going to end up losing. So I want to trade my pick, let someone else deal with that shit, and find football players. That's what I hope that GMs do, because that's what you are. Watching your tape, check the boxes. I really believe the Chicago Bears, did they talk to you? Have the Bears?
No, sir.
No, the Bears didn't talk to you. That's fucking sin right there, because they need a press corner that's going to be up there challenging these guys if you're going to be aggressive. You got Khalil Mack, Robert Quinn, Mario Edwards, Hakeem Hicks, Goldman coming back. You saw us break down Angelo Blackson. He's like a mini version of Hakeem Hicks. You got a defensive front. Bilal Nichols. How could I forget this young stud? So you got a front that's going to be getting pressure. You got to get these corners up on receivers. Let me ask you this. Who was the best receiver you went up against in the draft?
I've been getting that question a lot from teams. I'm going to go with number 13 from Stanford. His name, I don't want to pronounce it wrong, disrespect to his name, but like Semio.
Yeah, the kid, he's coming out in the draft too, this kid.
Yeah, he's pretty even though he has 0 catches, but he's real good. Like, he got real good upside to him. Like, he's gonna be real good in the league.
What made him so special to you? What did he give you problems with?
He was moving. Like, he caught in at 4.37. So I understand why he was caught in at that. So he was moving for his size. And he's a tall guy. Great length to him, explosive.
So in 19, did UCF, you guys play Tulane?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember Darnell Mooney?
Darnell, about
doesn't remember
6
Darnell.
foot, looked like a string bean when he was flying down the field.
All right.
You don't remember Darnell?
He's on the Bears roster. He was a later round draft pick that the Bears brought in, but we'll just say he's outplayed his draft status and
absolutely
and made a way in this league. And you talked about speed, and that's who Darnell Mooney is.
I actually know that player on the defense, Kendall Viler.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Kendall
Vildor, yeah.
Vildor out of Georgia Southern.
We played on the same Cam Newton team back in 2016.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Speaking of that, that gives me an idea about like who in the NFL that you played against in college, like that's there, might have been there a year or so. Whoever who's in the NFL right now, like who like inspired? Does anybody inspired you that's in the NFL right now that you had a connection with on the field?
Yeah. Oh, like I play with.
Yeah, like you played against like on another team that is in the league now that you like. I got respect for that guy. You know what I mean?
No, sir. I don't know anybody. I just knew.
You didn't know it?
Yeah, I just know Kendall.
Okay.
Let me ask you this: have you heard the name Khalil Mack?
I heard that name. Yes,
How many NFL games have you watched?
On Khalil Mack?
No, just NFL games. Do you watch the NFL game?
I'm gonna be completely honest and keep it real. I really don't watch that too many because I always want to be the guy to be watched. That's how I always look at it. So.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Well, I'm just saying your story kind of left you out in the reality. You're from what? Florida, right? Where's your hometown? Where were you born and raised?
No, I'm from Georgia. My bad. I'm from Covington, Georgia.
Covington, Georgia. So you would have been growing up an Atlanta Falcons fan. Was that your favorite team growing up?
No, sir. I was a Ward Dunn fan, though. I didn't really have like a favorite team.
A Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. You were a player. You're the third guy that just loved players.
Yeah, I just love players. I can't see my favorite player, me still being a fan of that team if he wasn't on that, so that's how I kind of looked at it.
So who was Warwick Dunn your favorite player all time, or who was your favorite player?
I'll probably go with Mike Vick.
Mike Vick.
I had the Vick when I was Little League too, so all of Daniel Thompson because I also had his too.
So, Tay, enough with all the football talk and all the serious stuff. Let's get into some fun stuff. We always ask everybody these same set of questions. I know Phil will know where we're going with this, but are you a Xbox or a PlayStation guy?
I got my PS5 over there.
Yes.
There you go. All right. I'm an Xbox guy. Phil's a PlayStation guy.
He's
Xbox.
Yeah. See,
you two are Xbox?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Two of my best. Me and you. We're on the other side of the room. I have a video question from our buddy here, George Berlissimo. This guy where did it go? Why did it leave? Here it is. Sorry. I'm going to play this for you. Let me know if you can hear this okay. Let's put it up in there. There we go.
Hi Tay, it's Bellissimo, and firstly I'd like to thank you for coming on the Keeping It 100 show with my boys Shayne and Phil. And what I'm going to do is I'm not going to let you off lightly. We've been speaking and I've heard your story, and I thought that as much as the play that you've put on tape and who you are as a prospect in the NFL draft, I feel that your story as to what you've been able to go through in terms of adversity on your journey is one that can inspire all who watch and listen to you. And so I wanted to give you that opportunity, not just on Draft Mob, but on this show here. So thank you for coming on at such short notice. And so my question, so the first question I have for you is, obviously I've seen your interceptions at FAU. The back pedal and fluidity you showed in your drop there in what looked like a cover 3 look was superb. Your ability to drift with the receiver was fantastic, and your ability to turn the ball and sort of keep your feet in on both interceptions I saw of the tape at UCF was really good. The one knock I had on your game was a couple of times when you were coming off as a blitzer and support of the run game, a couple of times on tackles you looked a little bit out of control to me in terms of your footwork coming into tackle. So what work are you prepared to do at the next level in regards to being a better tackler at the next level, because that's going to be important on the edge.
There you go.
That's a
He's
great
giving
question
you a
right there.
hard.
Yeah, that was a great question right there. So, to answer your question, I'm gonna be able to have access to resources that I ain't never had before. Not making an excuse for like my journey or anything. So, I'm going to take that into consideration. Like I'm going to use what your question was, and like you said, I need to get better at tackling. So, and you said I need to get better. You want to see me in that physical game, so I'm gonna display that. That's what I'm going to do. Like y'all gave me a task to do, I'm going to knock it out. So I'm going to get my legs real strong. I'm going to add more weight on to my frame that I already added, and I'm just going to show you guys that I can check those boxes for you guys and for myself.
Tay, I'll give you some real good advice on this part too, in terms of that with a tackling ability. When you're talking about, watching tape and learning the game like that, write the name Kyle Fuller down. Kyle Fuller, yeah, he was a Chicago Bear. Now he just signed with the Denver Broncos. But just go to YouTube, type in Kyle Fuller and
watch
study
how he comes up.
Yeah, you watch him, and you're gonna learn a whole lot. Kyle is the type of guy when he goes out to dinner with the boys, and he's always in his iPad. He's not playing games. He's studying tape. He's a student of the game, and he's not the most physically gifted and the fastest guy, at cornerback in the NFL, but you're not going to out physical that guy. And that's, when you're at this level, when you're as hungry as you are, like you said, just with your life story, and you add that physical on top of it, man, it's gonna suit you well. But yeah, remember the name Kyle Fuller. Check that out. And yeah,
this guy is everything I believe you can be and more. That's Shayne is giving you the right advice. I got to say this, though, to the audience. I'm the GM here, or the coach. Shayne will be the GM. I just fell in love with Tay because you answered that perfectly, truthfully. And you know what? Walter Payton never wanted to hear that he was the best. He wanted to work the best. He wanted to know what his faults were. He was the best football player ever. Anybody fight me for that. I've never seen another guy that just ran like he did and did everything. This guy played quarterback for a whole game. People forget this. He was everything to the city of Chicago. You have a statue there. But the reality is your story embedded in your body, your soul, comes out in the effort that you give each and every. Tackling is a want to, my father would say.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Your technique, you can improve. Your head placement, you can improve. You can never improve this. You either have it or you don't have it when it comes to this game. I remember this story, Tay. I was coaching, and there was a kid in the school that was the biggest fucking bully. Everybody was afraid of this. This kid could fight, he could knock people out, bloody people. He came out for the football team. You know how long he lasted on the football team? One practice. He couldn't take the reality that there's technique. This isn't a street fight. This is technique. This kid that's taught technique, that's 145 pounds, is knocking him on his ass because he's firing out and has it in here. And that's where you separate the men from the boys. That's why God gave you all this talent. You just have to go right through there. And hopefully Ryan Pace and company see the talent that I believe that you have. Listen, I don't blow smoke here. I watched your tape. Your tape says you're going to play in this league. I don't give a shit about the rankings of that. You're ninth corner in junior college. You're ninth on CBS's cornerback. Someone else will have you a fucking undrafted. Some other guy has you in the top. You'd be a top 10 if you played, whatever. You write your story now. I know meeting you right now, if you love this game, there's no stopping you. Your answer tonight to Berlissimo's question, which he recorded hours ago, was the perfect answer. If this was American Idol, you get a gold ticket. You're going to Hollywood, Tay.
What?
I watch a lot of Bears.
That's what we do here. This is why we call it Keeping It 100. We started this show with You Got to See Blog Boys, the new song. If you're just tuning in, now we world premieres with my guy right here, Cool Kennedy. I always do it wrong because it's backwards. So
gotta go
Cool
Oppo.
Kennedy, the music director here at TTNL, the super producer. Cool Kennedy and I collaborated, and we will drop it again at the end of the show. Blog Boys, we got thumbs up all around in the chat, everything. And Tay came in, even his dope intro. I'm gonna DM you the production I made for you. It is a team effort. I'm gonna give this. Shayne writes. So those of you in the chat, Shayne will write every intro. Sometimes I wrote Cool Kennedy's because Cool Kennedy actually just wrote it for it, and I did what I did. But Shayne writes all the intros. Our voice, Lawrence Fleming, is in the chat of the narrator of that, and then I put everything together and put the beat to it, and then I put the videos and edit all that shit together for you, bro, because now I'm a bigger fan of you than I was of your tape. And I can't even thank you enough for coming on the show tonight. People want to know your full name. How do you say your last name? Is it Gowan or Gowan?
Gowan. There we go.
Gowan.
Because I said Gowan, but I want to make sure because I have an accent apparently to a lot of people, but to me, you have the accent.
Right.
Let me ask you this: Marvel or DC? We got to get these things out of the way.
I'm gonna go Marvel. I'm a Spider-Man type.
All right,
there you go.
2 for 2 with Draft Doctor.
Yeah,
This is the big one right here.
iPhone or Android?
Oh no,
iPhone.
Yes,
there you go.
3 for 3. This is the biggest one, though. This is my love affair of hip hop music. I'm a Biggie or Tupac.
I'm gonna go Tupac based on the Dear Mama song.
What?
Oh, you're about to go 4 for 4.
He's from the East Coast, so you know he has to do that. You know what I mean? East Coast guys stick together, man.
He should have went Biggie. Biggie's from the East. Pac is from the West.
No, I'm saying you're going Biggie.
You're talking to him. I thought you were talking to me.
No, I was talking to you. You're East Coast, right?
Yeah,
East Coast, Biggie.
But he's East Coast. He's from Georgia.
That's different.
From the South.
That's different. Who's your favorite artist right now? Right now or all time? Who's your favorite artist?
All time, I'm gonna go with. I'll probably go with. I'm gonna go with Rod Wave right now.
Rod Wave, he's emotional. Emotions on the track,
right,
man.
That's how like that's
yeah.
That's how I kind of.
Okay. That makes sense, man, because of your story. It's an emotional driven story, so that makes sense. Okay.
I know, Jamie. He was born in New York, but he assembled himself into hip hop culture out on the West Coast. That's Tupac. Pac against the world, Robert Cook. I don't know. Biggie would take Pac and just destroy him in a first of all, freestyle. I don't know many people that can freestyle really fluidly. Today, Alex Acevedo sent me this kid from Connecticut. I never even heard of his name, and he just blew me away on what was that dude's name?
Angelo Marino from Waldman, Connecticut. I'm on the show, keeping it 100.
On the show, the tape never lies. Keeping it 100.
Yeah, it's a Tupac fan. That's a Tupac fan.
I thought Ace Acevedo, he must have left. He left me hanging. I forget the kid's name, but this dude, Chris Webby. Thank you. Chris Webby. Have you ever heard him? Cool.
Yeah, I heard him. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Just look Chris Webby with Sway in the morning.
Freestyle.
Tay, when he freestyles, I'm like, oh my God. He fucking killed Chris Webby, I guess. Tonight's he's from Connecticut. That's my home state. I don't even know him, my boy, but he does sound a lot. You know, he's from Stanford or Norwalk up that way, Chris. But Webby maybe is from West Hartford. I don't know, but this dude could spit some lyric. But he sounds a lot like Eminem. But he was crushing new rap. I don't know if you like the new rap. I don't like mumble rap, but
no, either.
No, okay, good. You're back. Listen, before we let you go, we always ask all our guests to do a station ID. Can you do the station ID for us? And that is, this is your boy, Tay Gowan, cornerback, University of Central Florida. You're keeping it 100 on the Tape Never Lies Network.
You're keeping it 100 on the Tape Never Lies Network.
Yes. Yep. I'm going to isolate on you. I'm going to give you some time. Do you need me to say it again?
Yo, one more time. You're keeping it.
All right, listen, watch me. Ready? Yo, this is your boy, Tay Gowan. You're keeping it 100. All right, I'll do this. This is your boy, Tay Gowan from the University of Central Florida. That's right. What are they, the Knights?
Yeah, the Knights.
Golden Knights.
Golden Knights. Whoop, whoop, whatever. You're keeping it 100 on the Tape Never Lies Network. I'll count you down, and I'm going to isolate. The camera's going to be on you. It's going to be nervous. Don't pull a Cindy Green.
DBU's counting on you not to screw this up, Tay.
You're keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100
on the Tape Never Lies Network.
Never Lies Network.
You're keeping it 100.
Barlissimo was supposed to send you this script.
I think I got it.
We'll count you down.
3, 2, 1.
Yo, it's your boy Tay Gowan. I'm here from University of Central Florida, and you're keeping it real with Tape Never Lies Network.
Almost. You went with the real instead of 100.
Keeping it 100.
My bad.
You want me to scream it for you? I'll jump in like the Beastie Boys.
Keeping it 100. I got you.
All right. Count them down.
3, 2, 1.
It's your boy Tay Gowan, and I'm here from University of Central Florida, and you're keeping it 100 with.
It's harder than cover 2, man. Under for you.
Keeping it 100 on the Tape Never Lies Network.
Oh, on the Tape Never Lies. Okay, on the Tape Never Lies.
Take 3. Listen, Akeem Hicks took him 9 takes. Took Akeem Hicks 9 takes. You ready?
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
It's your boy Tay Gowan, and I'm here with the University of Central Florida, and you're keeping it 100 on the Tape Never Lies Network.
There you go.
I don't know the UCF fight song, Chris Jacko, but we should have played it right there.
Yeah. He just housed it. He just housed it right now.
Housed it. Pick 6. Tay, I followed you on Instagram. Please follow me back because I want to send you that dope intro that the Tape Never Lies Network. I'm your guy, Draft Dr. Phil. This guy right here is Cool Kennedy. This guy up here is the smartest man, Shayne, Money Man Marsaw. You know our guy, Barlissimo. He set this up. I'm so glad he did because it was a pleasure talking football with you. I know you killed your pro day. Now we pray for you in the draft and wherever you land, even if it's Green Bay. Oh, it'll be so hard to cheer for you. But we will because your story is too great. It really is. And you're a true class act, man. I can't thank you enough. And my boy, one of my best boys now, former UCF himself, Steve Edwards, is going to come on our network. April 21st, he's going to be during our live mock. He's going to have his best tackles, his best offensive tackles in the draft. That's going to be fun. But he's a former Golden Knight. Golden Knight. Any shout out you want to give anybody before we let you go?
I want to shout out you guys for allowing me to come on here and tell my story to the fans. I want to shout out to my mom and my daughter for keeping me motivated throughout this whole process. So, and if you guys want to follow me, Cool Kennedy and my daughter right here. So I will follow you guys back, and we just keep in touch. So
yes,
already done.
You know what? If you get drafted by the Bears, we're writing you your own fucking entry song.
Oh yeah.
He's gonna enter the fucking training camp.
Yeah, if you get drafted in Chicago, we won't say that it took you 3 takes to do that. We'll say you hit it for first take.
I do a Rod Wave type beat, man.
Don't worry.
All right, Tay.
Tay, you're the best. Follow Tay, please, right there. Both. And let him know you're 100 crew. You saw him on the Tape Never Lies Network. Give him some love, support. Honestly, I always say this. I mean this truthfully. Positive energy results in positive actions. Send it to Tay. I'm in your corner 100%, man. 100%, man. God bless you. Thank you for coming on tonight. Be strong and always keep it 100.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
Not real. 100.
Thanks, Tay.
Tay, you're the best. God bless, man. And God bless your mom. What's her name before I let you go? And your daughter's name?
My mom's name is Linda Gowan.
Linda?
Yes, sir.
And
my daughter's name is Skylar Gowan.
Skylar. Okay. They're in my prayers.
Skylar.
God bless you, man.
Thanks, man.
Tay Gowan.
What a story.
Wow. What a story.
Beautiful
Honestly.
story.
Do you get that anywhere? You get original content real quick like that. You get stories like that. And this is what makes this network special. You know, I got to thank every person that goes out of their way to create or tell somebody, as Jackal would say, be a friend, tell a friend, and get these kind of guests that you want on this network. Shayne has gotten 0 guests for us.
Oh, stop. Stop.
Breaking news. The Tape Never Lies Network. Breaking news.
Look at this guy.
Another suspension over.
No
He
hat.
survived another one. This is good times.
No, he's got no hat because he's been car shopping. And they probably took that from him too.
His car. How many cars do you need?
No, it's not. It's
Mama needs a new ride.
Yeah.
People were wondering where you were. Did you, Angelo, suspend cars as well? What's going on? Your number one
ladies
fan.
and gentlemen, it's really no. I got suspended again. I made some pro Matt Nagy statements, and Shayne had enough, and they kicked me off for a while. And it's fine. It's fine. It's been a slow Twitter news day, so you know, everything is.
Big plays are nice.
You're not sinking like the SS Brawl, right?
No. I think. I think that ship's got to be afloat with only one person really on it anymore.
That's right.
So.
Oh my God! If you ever have a situation where you are that racist and ignorant, and you stand by that person, that makes you racist and ignorant.
But
that's
he's not.
the reality.
He's not. He used that word to make fun of others who use that word. I think that's how that works, right?
Yeah.
Like
what a cop
That
out.
is the cop.
Yeah.
Anyway, as our only
fun day.
African American, my boy, he could speak on this, but to me,
and Mexican too. I might have Mexican, so
yeah. So you have a bunch of, you're like Acevedo, and all of us really. That's what I hate about the reality of where we are. Why are you arguing about the call? Shouldn't you be arguing about the racist bullshit that the fuck?
Yeah.
What are you?
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
Overlooked
Again,
that,
this
yeah.
is no script. We're just keeping it.
I know my house is on fire, but that guy totally didn't trim my bushes.
Yeah.
And I'm really upset about
But you
that.
can't deny this in front. But he didn't call him. I need proof.
Here's my
What's the
16
proof? He
phones.
just called people
Yeah.
fucking gays, homo, fuck you,
Oh.
the N-word. The N-word's all right. Trump used what?
Yeah.
Like we're
Oh.
defending this stuff. Okay.
It was something nice to wake up to this morning with some messages about certain hashtags to go look at. And
anyway, if you don't know what we're talking about, Shayne has called this out many a time, and you'll just have to.
Yeah.
How would you say this, Shayne? Shout out to Mexico. You got some Mexico.
There you go, Diego.
Diego Jimenez. See, I said it right. There's no J sound. It's yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to give the person we're talking about any more airtime on this network because
all you got to do Alpha and Omega. There you go.
And I do want to remind everybody that this is why I'm the lambda of the TTNL network. Right, that's who I am.
But you are a blog boy. See,
that's right. That's right.
I've always loved cars. We've
never agreed on a single thing.
We've agreed on a bunch of things, but big things like quarterbacks, we haven't. This year, we have.
Yeah.
So
that dude's going number 3 now.
Like I said, put it in pen, and that's the reality. And it's a testament to what we do here. Again, blog boys. They're going to go based on the narrative or steal somebody else's opinion and then use it as their own, Matt Miller. And then they're going to do that kind of stuff. The reality is you got to watch the tape, come up with your opinions. Tonight, I showed you, I watched this guy's tape, Tay, and then my opinion just escalated because how can you find that kind of character? You know what I'm saying? The opposite of what ignorance is. It's like, this is what this world is about. This is really happening. I saw in the chat.
This is the greatest Photoshop I have ever seen. And I will proudly sport this on Twitter.
Lambda. If you haven't seen the nerds. Yeah.
Revenge of the Nerds, man. That's my favorite.
Oh.
We never have a script, guys. So those of you
and I tend to knock everything
what we were
off
talking
anyway.
about earlier, just know, DM us privately and we can catch you up like that, I guess. I don't know. I thought Shayne might want to double down on it. I'm not on Twitter. No. I just was giving a whole lot of information.
Yeah, if you want to listen, I don't want to spend time on it, but like I said, we'll keep it 100 here. If you want to know what's going on, just if you have a Twitter account, go to Twitter and just search up Mike Brez, BREZ. That'll tell you all you need to know about the piece of shit that we're talking about. And that's really the only thing that needs to. Yeah. Phil makes me do the dirty work.
I just, how to handle this very well. I just go.
Yeah, it's just like I said, we don't need. Hey, like I said, the SS Brawl is sinking, and when there's a piece of shit in the water, you flush it.
The Brawl Network has been exposed. That's what. So those of you wondering what we were talking about, Brian Butler, you're no longer clueless. Just you'll know what that is. But the reality of what we were talking about is in regards to Matt Carstensen not being a blog boy, even though I've always called him a nerd and everything. I've always honestly respected him. In fact, you are my wife's favorite personality on this show, apparently. So that says a lot.
That's why I got suspended. So if anybody wants some clarity, that is why I got suspended for 2 weeks. So
just as I'm talking about her, she shows up and is delivering my dessert. My Randy Peterson fitness dessert.
Tell
Steph made an appearance in the
Steph, look who's on.
You see Cars is on, Steph? They can hear you. You could say
this is
Hi.
She's got a Cars hoodie on. We just can't unveil it yet.
Can you hear him? He says you have a Cars hoodie on. You just can't unveil that. Yeah, it's going to be a hot seller.
Hey,
Biggest fan, exactly. That's what I told him. What a great interview, though, with Tay going back. Let's just stay here real quick before we get to our next guest. I know he's coming up. I know Cool has studio work. You got a person coming in that's going to be recording with you tonight, not me. But the reality is, talk a little bit about what we're going to do real quick with our music and how we're going to handle this as we move forward with all these song premieres and stuff that we have planned for this network.
Definitely. We got, like we said, the Manscaped one. I know I want to tackle that one real quick. That one, I was feeling that hook on there. So that one's going to be a nice surprise, man. Hope There's Hope.
There's Hope.
BHL remix, like with you on it, right? That's the one with you on the verse.
Yeah,
I'll get on the verse.
I got to spit some bars on your verse. We got a bunch of Bear Up, Bear Down remix, a little remix of that.
So that's going to come later as the season comes along, right? We'll roll that in. Yeah.
So we'll have you coming on, premiering these, and where can people, I guess we're going to download these. You know this better than I do. So
all of the tracks that we're going to do, we're going to use Song Trader. We're going to release them digitally, and they'll be on iTunes, SoundCloud. Well, I'll do all of that on the background of it, and they'll be available streaming platforms everywhere. So, and we could premiere it on the Patreon first. We could run it because I can set out the date on SoundTrader before they release digitally, before it streams, and we could do like a period of time where it's you get it exclusive or ahead of the drop on Patreon for all the fans. So it'd be like a 12 track EP.
There you go.
DDP, Cool Kennedy.
DDP, Cool Kennedy, TTNL. There's a lot of acronyms, but at the same time, there's a lot of great stuff going on in this network. And I appreciate you. Again, at the end of the show, as we wrap up tonight, we'll re-air the world premiere song, The Blog Boys, that premiered tonight with Cool Kennedy, the producer and musical director. Everything we do here is from us creatively, all original music and content until we have a guest intro. Then this next guest that we have coming, Shayne's going to be mad at me again because we didn't use a Cool Kennedy beat. We used the KRS-One beat that he took from somebody else. And this is how we flow and go. And that's how we do it. But cool.
Thanks, man.
Awesome tonight. I thank you for jumping on with us. We're going to have you on more as the off season goes. And we got parody songs too, guys. Yep. Don't forget those. Practically Perfect.
And Cars is going to get a verse on one.
Cars and Shayne has promised this summer he's going to rap. And I can't wait to see this.
We'll do one today.
Don't set the bar low. Set the bar really low. That's all I'm asking.
We'll do that Revenge of the Nerds beat, man.
There you go.
We'll bring back the nerd song.
I mean, I might have to spike the hair like the one guy and play the violin or something.
All right, guys.
All right.
Thanks.
All right, salute, man.
We'll see.
God bless. Cool Kennedy. Our next guest hails from, I have no idea where he hails from, but I do know.
That is a great intro. That is a fantastic intro.
We're totally prepared here.
Acevedo, I want a clip of that, and we're cutting that out right now.
I do know. I respect the shit out of this guy for his analysis because he does what I do. He allows the tape to tell the story as he narrates it. And that's where a wordsmith and someone who knows the game is truly showcased. There's no top of the key, Shayne, at the left tackle. Yeah. It's actually a left tackle.
Imagine that.
Okay. Let's introduce this guy only in the way that we know how. And I hope he loves this intro as much as I enjoyed creating it. He's Matt Waldman.
Once we hit April 1st, we told you all that TTNL was going into overdrive. with our 2021 NFL draft coverage to get you all ready. When we flipped the calendar, there was only one man for us to call to help us kick off our NFL draft talk. The rookie scouting portfolio creator has set it all up for you to help get you prepared for the draft. You won't find another more comprehensive NFL draft guide out there. Hopefully, Matt sent one over to Collaboration Headquarters at Hallis Hall for Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy to use. Bears fans, TTNL fans, you are now on the clock. And with the first pick of the 2021 NFL Draft, TTNL Network selects Matt Waldman.
There he is.
That was probably the best intro I've ever had on a podcast. Period. And then I even got the from parts unknown. I always wanted to be introduced from parts unknown. Like one of those badass wrestlers, you know.
It's
like
finally
Bruiser
paid
Brody
off.
or something.
It's finally paid off for us not to prepare completely, Matt.
Man, yeah. And then with a little Back in Black remixed, you know, I could dig that, man. That was awesome.
I was feeling that too. I honestly studied you and I said, this is the song I'm gonna intro him to. That's how much I get into these things. Shayne gives me a hard time because YouTube's always copyright claim. You know how that is, but it's so worth it for the reality of this. That's my scouting report on you, is that song, and I'm glad you liked it, man.
I'm flattered, man. I really appreciate it. Hopefully I can live up to the hype that you did put the bar that you set here. So, you know, I'm ready to go now.
No, you've definitely lived up to it, Matt. We've been followers for, you know, a long time. We were all big draft heads here, and it's we call it, you know, grown man's Christmas draft time, because I said I look back on it like when I'm, you know, 7 years old growing up, you know, Christmas Eve, I still get the butterflies, you know, the night before the draft and the entire time leading up to it. And
Absolutely.
There's no better time if you're a, you know, college football, NFL fan. It's April rolls around and, oh man, I'm ready to go.
Hold on, there's no better, if you're as a Bears fan, there's no better time leading up to the draft.
Right.
There is no worse time post-draft,
Exactly.
right? Like, that's just like, we're gonna do it this year, and
like your first marriage. It's like
the trainer marriage. Yeah, it's the trainer marriage every time.
The Bears GMs have left us this, Matt. It's like, can't we just hire me and Matt Waldman, not Carson? Me and Matt Carson would be fighting. But anyway,
we would have to be opposite sides of the facility.
Yes, but we would get the right decision made. I guarantee you that. At least we'd come to terms with that. Mr. Waldman, though, thank you so much. I know you're a busy gentleman, and your work is not only articulate, but it's very detailed. Very detailed. I'm more hip hop and I'm getting in and out of there with my analysis. I'm finally get to meet you here tonight. I'm Draft Dr. Phil. Above me, if Jackal could put the names up, is the smartest man, Shayne Marsaw. And then to there he is, Cars, our resident nerd. He is not a blog boy, and you missed the debut song, Blog Boys. You're not a blog boy either.
I will take it.
There you go. So, Matt, talk about this Chicago Bears football team. The GM, obviously, we don't know how he's getting another chance. So from an outsider's view, if you miss on two generational quarterbacks, granted one loves masseuses or whatever's going on, the reality is, how is this GM still standing? I mean, is it like a Phil Collins song, or not even Phil Collins? That was Elton John. What am I talking about? Is it an Elton John song here with GM Pace, or is this something? I mean, are you laughing at that, or is this something that everybody gets a miss like this?
I think you have to look at the Bears and probably think that from an ownership perspective that they feel like they need to be a little bit more patient and understanding of let's assess the whole team and see where that's heading. And then they may have felt like because of our quarterback, we have to give incomplete assessments to other players and other talents around us. And that's me looking at it from a optimistic standpoint. The pessimistic standpoint would be that he's got photos or video of somebody. But at the same time, I honestly think it's somewhere in between where he was probably able to show some of the progress that they were making with certain players and feel like that they made some good decisions on that front, but that they need a little bit more time to get things together because the quarterback is so much of a glue of what the offense is going to do. And that derailed some of their plans to an extent. And I think that that's what probably the team bought. But this could be one of those deals where either they turn it around this year, or if the Bears, yeah, exactly. I know what you're thinking, Cars. But I'm a Browns fan. I grew up, Browns fan.
Oh, wait, my uncle then?
Yeah,
Sam Ratigliano.
Oh, I grew up loving Sam Ratigliano. See, there you go.
There you go. Now we're going to have a chat because I want to send you that intro too.
I love that because my first Cleveland Browns game was in the mid-'70s.
Yes.
Under Sam Ratigliano against Don Shula's Dolphins, which the Browns won in overtime during their Cardiac Kids year with Brian Sipe to Reggie Rucker. So, that's how far I go back. And that's when I was hooked. But yeah, so I think probably when you look at the Chicago Bears, this is a pivotal year. They're going to have to start hot. It's probably not going to happen as a result of that, you could see firing mid-season. But probably with a GM, it's going to be year end because they don't fire GMs mid-season.
Right.
But it's going to be one more year here, and that'll probably be it. But there's some guys, that still have some promise there with this team. It's just a matter of can you get the quarterback? And that's been the big question for the Bears since
102 years. 102 years. Let's be honest. Yeah.
The good news is the guy who got the last quarterback is oh wait, no, he's still here.
Matt, before we move on to this draft here, just real quick let's go back to Mitch Trubisky in that 17 draft. And one of the biggest things that a lot of people don't talk about is the whole Bill Parcells philosophy on quarterbacks. He wants them to start so many games. But is that something that you factor in when you look at Mitch not even being able to beat out Marquise Williams at UNC for so long, and it took him leaving for Mitch to get the nod there? That speaks volumes. I mean, especially being able to look back on it now. Is that something that you look at and you're like, wow, that's a big red flag to me?
No, but because I don't pay attention so much to that, though I know Bill's Parcells rule and what he did there. But to me, it's a nice guideline to kind of look at to a degree. But for me, it was strictly the tape. When I watched this guy, it was like, yeah, he's got the arm. He can move. He's an underrated runner. I thought he was just as good of a runner as Deshaun Watson in many respects, just not as fast. But he certainly could move, and he was tough. And I like the fact that he was willing to take some chances. But when you're backed up in your own territory or you're in the red zone and you do the things that he did on tape at North Carolina over and over again and repeated themselves in Chicago, that was the big concern to me. I just kept telling people, I'm like, listen, when you have to manage the game well, and you've got to understand, basically how much time you have and how to stay in the pocket and when to throw the ball away and when not to force the ball in certain situations. And those two major situations are backed up in your own 20 or inside your opponent's 20. And he could not do that. And he played too much hero ball. And so he had moments that were really inspiring, but I thought I didn't like him. And so, I had him. He was certainly in my top 5, but he wasn't. I had Mahomes, I had Watson ahead of, I had those guys ahead of Trubisky. And it was and Trubisky to me was the guy that I thought was a little overrated. And yeah.
I was so devastated when they traded up. I swear my wife could tell the story. I'm like, we're getting Watson. And that's where I thought, and it was a screwball. And that's really been this GM's story. I'm sorry, Pace. Cars. I called you Pace.
The Lord.
You're like the whipping boy on the show.
It's fine. Claudio's not here today, so I've got to take over. It's okay.
All right.
What I wanted to ask, though, is it was one thing to miss that pick, but how do you look at value, right? Because it wasn't so much that they made the pick at Mitch. The Mitch at 3 would have been a bad pick still.
Right.
But they valued him so much, they gave up extra capital to go move up one slot. So that, to me, tells me it's not that you think he's a little bit better than those guys. You think that there's such a difference between him and those other guys. Like, how do you look at the value of those sorts of things as they translate? Like, are you kind of like tiering this, or are you just like, how would that work?
Yeah, I mean, I guess when I saw something like that, you know, it's nice to look in hindsight and see the article that I think the Tribune did a while back about what Pace's decision was. And Russ Landy and I talked about that. Russ Landy, who's a former Browns and Rams scout, who's the head of U.S. scouting for the Montreal Alouettes. And he's like, listen, it's very clear that he was brought up in an organization in New Orleans, that he was around Drew Brees a lot. He saw what Drew Brees was, kind of was taught a certain way of how things would be. And he clearly misidentified what the traits were that Drew Brees had that somehow he thought was going to be translatable for Mitch Trubisky. And so he was all in because he was one of those guys. I mean, you got to admire him for the stones to be like, I know this is my guy, and I've got the conviction. Exactly. Julius got it right there.
He got it right on money.
Yeah.
I love that.
He was fired up to make that pick.
Oh, they all were in unison.
Yeah, he did. He had the conviction, but dude, it was the wrong path. It's the wrong path for sure. And it's just Mitch just doesn't read the field like these other guys. But I can't tell the whole story, but I'll say this. There's a team that missed on Mahomes, and I was told this, and it's an embarrassing fashion because basically he was wowing them in what they did pre-draft with him. And there were even players that were wowed with what he was doing. And he did something that the coaching staff at that time was like, we're taking him off the board because we think he's going to be he's going to make too many risks, and it was too risky of a decision. And it wasn't. Like, it clearly wasn't. Exactly. But they felt like that he might not listen to what they want him to do, and they weren't seen beyond that, and they literally said, we're not drafting him. And yeah,
that's what I love about the NFL. Though. Those guys still have jobs, right?
Those guys
get
don't.
Jobs at
Those
other
guys,
places.
but they might. You're right.
Yeah.
They got another job.
They probably did.
That's a blog boy right there. That's why someone like you should be in a GM position. Let's turn this right into the quarterbacks in this draft. Obviously, the consensus is Lawrence number 1. Where do you rank the rest? I have Mac Jones number 2. So does Shayne and Cars. We've never agreed. We tell the story on this network. October 28th was the text thread that we were all like, Mac Jones is our guy, other than obviously Lawrence.
Yeah, I think at that point we were projecting him not to shoot up so high. We were thinking Bears. Exactly. Bears guy, not number 3 overall, the San Francisco guy.
That would have been nice. I mean, I have him number 3, and so pretty close to you guys in that regard. And he's probably the second most ready quarterback to play. Yes. So I have a total understanding as to why you have him ranked where you do, because he's a smart quarterback with the arm to make all the throws. He's very good in the pocket. He's someone that, it's not just that he had all this great talent around him. I mean, he's someone who really does understand the game, and he attacks downfield, but he also understands, he can execute the play action game. He can execute, he could be in different systems. You want him in a Hard Perkins system, you can do that. You want him in a West Coast offense, you can do that. The only system he can't do is probably what Lamar Jackson's doing, and pretty much nobody can do that. Yeah. So
that is a good wild card. That is an excellent wild card.
Yeah. So he's very good in that respect. Now, the thing that people don't like about him that I've heard is that in one respect, I judge quarterbacks in two ways. They're either creative guys or they're task-oriented guys. Or as Mark Schofield, my buddy who writes with me at the site, you guys know, Mark's fantastic. Mark did because I did a long time ago, I classified Mariota as task-oriented. And then Mark came along and said, let's put a little hip-hop on this and say he's the chef or the baker. And so he said, Kirk Cousins is a chef, as a baker. Kirk Cousins is a baker, and Brett Favre was a chef. When you think about it, it's like you might have not all the ingredients in the cabinet, but you can make something good out of it, even if you got a hot plate, and that's all you got.
I love that analogy.
And then I appreciate it. And Mark does a great job with that. It's like Kirk Cousins. He's a task-oriented guy. He's a baker.
He's got to put all the
perfect.
Yeah, he's got to put all the half.
The oven can't be at 401, right?
That's right.
That's right. At
499.
But what people don't realize is that Tom Brady is a great task-oriented quarterback. But see, the thing with him is that he has studied everything so much and remembers everything so well that if the oven's at 499, he knows he can put a cool pan in there, or he can put, or 401, he can put a cool pan in there and drop it a degree. And he has everything ready. So remember that one time when we baked that piece of bread? And he's telling Bill Belichick about, we used this kind of flour back in 2004.
That's the part. It's not just that he baked it, but it was like 17 years ago on a Tuesday at 4:37 in the afternoon.
Exactly. Yeah. Meanwhile, Giselle's like, "When are you leaving, Tom? I need some stuff away from you." So that's the
honey, get some of those avocados, please.
Exactly. Take them with you. That's the thing. It's like, you got a guy like Mac Jones, and I think he's task-oriented because there are some plays where I watch on deeper routes where, say, he has a receiver breaking on a deep crosser, and he doesn't process where maybe the safety's coming downhill late post-snap, and he doesn't make the 2 and 2 of like, okay, I see what this defender's doing. It means that this receiver coming across the field's going to be wide open, and I should hit that. And sometimes he'll miss those types of plays that are more like he wasn't prepared for that. So if it happens in the moment and he's not expecting it, he may not make that snap decision that a Mahomes or a top guy can. But listen, we're talking about Mahomes and Brady here.
Right.
And then and I have him ahead. He's more than Kirk Cousins. So he may be a mile or two from Tom Brady, but he's certainly ahead of Kirk Cousins, and that's a good thing. And that's, to me, when people are like, he doesn't thrill me because of all these athletic things and quarterbacks have to win outside the pocket. I'm tired of hearing the quarterbacks have to win outside the pocket. Certainly, NFL, they give receivers a free pass more than ever. They love taps to quarterbacks, get flags. Anything that happens in that pocket is much easier than what we all grew up on. But the thing is that at the end of the day, even if they have to get outside the pocket, they still have to see from the pocket to figure out that they got to get outside. They're never getting rid of the idea that you win from the pocket. And Mac Jones can win from the pocket. And you can say all you want about that you got to be able to run and move. That's the same reason that people were saying that Jermichael Finley was going to herald the next stage of every team having a great tight end. And it never happened. We're still waiting. We're still waiting. So it's like I'm pocket or die. I love guys who can work outside the pocket, but there's only one Russell Wilson, and that's a guy that maybe he's never really had a pocket. I'm exaggerating, but he's that type of player, and I was kind of hoping that, as much as I loved Russell Wilson coming out, and I like the Seahawks, I was kind of hoping that maybe when he said I'd consider the Bears.
Yeah,
I was kind of hoping you guys might get him.
You and all of us.
Yeah,
that was my dream.
Just so you know, I still dream every night that's happening.
The Packers, the Packers like breathe like a sigh of relief. They were probably pissing their pants right now, thinking of the idea of Chicago fans having Russell Wilson.
Having an actual quarterback.
Yeah.
Matt, get us out of this doldrum, if you will. The reality is we haven't had that guy that walks onto the football field and is the chef that is going to take the game by his hands and go down the field in any moment's notice and win that. Is there anybody in this draft that, obviously there's rumors out there, Atlanta's holding that pick. Is there somebody in this draft? You haven't revealed your number 2 guy yet. So is there somebody in that draft that you feel as though would be a perfect fit for the Bears, and give us your top guys in this draft? In
order, I'll do it. Let's start with Trey Lance. He's number 2 for me. I'm a big Trey Lance fan. I grew up a Steve McNair fan, and back in the summer, Mark and I did a film room on him, and I said, we watched enough tape and shared, and I was like, I've got a comp for you in this August, and it's McNair. The way he throws the ball, the way he can throw on the move, his drop game, his ability to move in the pocket, his great strength and power to be able to move.
Are you gonna be scared when I tell you this? My father and I are watching the NFL Network Easter Sunday. I visited him Saturday, actually, before Sunday, and Steve McNair's thing was on NFL Network, that whatever they do. And my father said to me, this reminds me of the kid from North Dakota. I swear on my son's life. So you're giving me goosebumps now. That's why I'm sorry I interrupted, but it was like it was meant to be. He said the same comp to this kid. Go ahead.
And it's funny because Daniel Jeremiah at NFL Network had the same comp later, and RSP subscribers were like, oh, you must be watching. You stole it. And I'm going, no, dude. He does things on his own time. But I'm like, he does things on his own time. It's no big deal. And Jeremiah was nice, and he goes, we've been thinking a lot lately. He goes, quick question: are you eating avocado toast this morning? And so what was funny is that, and I haven't told this story yet, so I hope it doesn't get to Daniel, but I'm going to share this anyway. So trying to be a nice guy, I say, I took the bag that I had that literally I had ordered delivery and had avocado toast. And I showed it, and I was like, wow. And he was like, wow. We were laughing. And then I said, so next week we're going to, I say something, and somebody goes, I can't believe that you actually had that. And I said, yeah. I said, I kind of lied. Well, why'd you lie? I said, because I actually had it 3 days ago, and I didn't want to be an asshole and go with the theme of I had the Trey Lance thing 6 months ago, and now you're behind me on the avocado toast
You threw him a bone.
So what was the oven set at when they made it?
But Trey Lance is, people get down on him because they say he's a captain check down guy who didn't have a lot of production and only had 1 year. And he played in a small school, so he didn't face all the different types of coverages that SEC, ACC, Big 10, Big 12 guys get a glance at.
Defense. Yeah. Big 10 teams don't play defense.
Well, none of these teams give more than a glance of what you're actually going to see in the NFL. But anyway, the thing with him is that people don't realize that the offense he played in is a pro-style offense. He made pro-style pre-snap reads, and he actually had to work in an offense where the coaches teach it short to deep. That's what you look at, short to deep. Even most quarterbacks that get to go deep to short. So when he's making these beautiful deep throws, they're his third and fourth read, or it's a first read where he saw pre-snap clearly that he could make that throw. And so when you have a quarterback who's doing that and processing like that, I'm a believer in him. I think that he could wind up being really one of the top guys. So that's my second guy.
I love that.
You listed the second. I have to ask, because the two guys that are kind of more in that chef category are Trey and the guy who terrifies me more than any other first round quarterback, Zach Wilson. So that's the comp I want to, because that guy, when you talk about Chef, right? Like, I think he's really good at some of the unscripted stuff, but that predetermined short read, like quick throws, quick game, I feel like that's going to eat him alive. Like, where are your takes on that one?
Well, I'll definitely answer that. So we'll just kind of skip through the other guys quickly then, and I'll just say, and we can go back if you want. My fourth guy is Justin Fields, and he's not that far away from Mac Jones. It's just they're a different style quarterback, and I think that the processing thing's a little overblown, though. He could go multiple reads, multiple quarters, and not have to make more than one or two reads of the field because of the way the offense is set up, and that's fine. But I think he has the most as much upside as the top two guys, but he has a little bit lower downside if they screw up where he goes and what they do with him. After that, I have Davis Mills, number 5, because I think that in a couple of years, he's a guy that the things that he has to learn are things that you would expect a guy to have to learn. The things that he knows are things that good quarterbacks know already. And so, and he's a tough dude. I mean, so I look at how he plays, and he may not be exciting in terms of a prospect, but in 2 or 3 years, he could wind up being a Kirk Cousins type of starter, but be more of a Chef than or at least a higher end Baker. But yeah, Zach Wilson's my 6th guy, and I had to squint kind of hard to make Zach Wilson say that he's going to be a starter.
You're on the perfect network for this.
Every one of us
getting destroyed from so many people. What are you talking? He's the best.
I can't believe he's going number 2. I can't believe it.
Have you ever seen the 5 Heartbeats? The show with Robert Thompson.
I love that movie.
Okay, well, you're gonna dig this because I put this on Twitter one day, and I took a YouTube shot, and I said, let's bring in the 5 horsemen. And there's a scene where they bring those dudes in with the college letter sweaters and the wigs, and they're like, "We got soul, Jack," and they keep saying Jack all the time as they're like singing, and they're singing like a barbershop quartet rather than like the Temptations, and they're doing it, and they're saying, "This is the group that's going to sing your songs because we think they have a wider range appeal." Well, to me, the 5 heartbeats are guys like Russell Wilson, Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, and Patrick Mahomes, are part of that. And then you would say that the 5 horsemen are Baker Mayfield, Drew Lock, Jordan Love, and now you've got Zach Wilson to complete it as your lead singer, and Zach Wilson to me can be a starter. So as much as I'm like totally waxing him, in this particular segment, if you put him in a wide zone offense, put the gutter guards in where you play to one side of the field with the rollouts, you have lots of levels of crossing routes and slants where he has multiple windows to hit that guy, he could be pretty good. And I think he's the best of the options that I just mentioned in that parody 5 horsemen thing. But the thing is front leg locks out, sinks or sails with his accuracy. There's not an off coverage look that he isn't baited into throwing that should be picked off. It will be picked off in the NFL compared to what the close calls that he won. He throws hospital balls. When I watch a game and I see a guy throw a slant and he sees the safety, looks back at the safety, goes back to the slant and throws it right in, leads the guy into the safety in the 4th quarter of a game where you're leading by a substantial amount and you're still hanging your receiver out to dry, that ain't going to fly in the NFL. There's going to be a fight in the locker room for that. And I look at this guy and I see some chances of ability, but when I charted his accuracy, I chart by short, intermediate, vertical, and deep, and it's in ranges of about 14 yards. So intermediate to vertical is between the ranges of about 14 yards to 42 yards. And then in that range, he's below average for what you're looking for. Yeah. And it's like, you've got to be good in that. He's all frosting with these like back shoulder throws and no cake. And it's like, I want some cake with this guy and I'm not getting it. So
I'm going to find a way to use all frosting, no cake some way in a phone call tomorrow. I will find a way.
Now when you come back on the show, we're going to have to change your intro a little bit to a menu.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause
All frosting, no cake.
Waldman's venue. It's gonna be
That sounds like a
borrow Matt Nagy's play sheet.
That sounds like a section for the RSP, right? All frosting,
Yeah.
no cake.
I love this.
I might have to put that in parentheses
have to
under
do it.
overrated. You know,
Yeah,
dude,
right.
you gotta
Make it look
do
like
it.
a Denny's menu, absolutely, and just roll with it.
If you're just tuning in now, this is Matt Waldman. I'm telling you, I've never had the pleasure of talking with this guy, but it feels like I've known you.
Yeah.
Like we're kindred spirits for years, from your intro to now and your rankings. We all agree with you on Zach Wilson. He is the screwball, and I love all frosting, no cake. In fact, I don't like cake. I like ice cream cake for my birthday or whatever. I don't like cake, and the least thing I like is frosting.
This explains so much about you.
There we go. I'm
This
just
is
saying,
everything.
this is keeping it 100.
Hey man, that's exactly, and I think Jets fans are going to be reaching for the Tums across the table,
Especially with that
you know?
offensive line. You're talking about getting him throwing lanes. Like they've got outside of Becton, that line is not good at all. Like that is the worst situation. And who's he going to throw to? Like you get this guy, and to your point, you need a system. The Jets have absolutely zero of what this guy needs. So it is the most Jets thing possible to draft this guy and get him killed by week 6.
Yeah, I mean, it's hilarious because to me, like when you said what kind of chef would he be, and I love the Chef Boyardee one. I can't top that. That is absolutely brilliant. All I was thinking was he was like a fast food guy. Like I worked fast food back in the day with when I was a musician, and I was trying to work my way during the summer so I could practice. Because my mother lived in apartments when I was growing up, and that's where I grew up in. So I knew that I couldn't practice at night. So I'd get up at 5 in the morning and work till like 1 in the afternoon. And I worked with a bunch of people who were in like NA, in Narcotics Anonymous, like basically at a Burger King.
That's an experience.
That was my first job too.
Exactly.
I
So
quit
it's like
2 weeks.
Yeah, well, I did a grocery store before that, and I quit the first day because I was like, I'm getting the dull-eyed stare of a dairy cow. Like, I can't do that. I literally walked 2 miles home at lunch. And was like, I'm out, dude. I got to get another job. This ain't it for me. but what's so funny is that, like, he might as well be like the guy at the fast food counter where you've got like the pictures on the thing. I mean, that's
perfect.
Yeah, he could be better than what we're saying, but I think that if you're saying Baker Mayfield is his upside, which I am, and I said Baker Mayfield's upside was like Pro Bowl level Jeff Garcia, not and
that is so accurate though. If you look at last season, like that is dead on.
Yeah. That was what I said, because people were like Russell Wilson and Drew Brees and they were talking about all that, and I liked Manziel actually, if it wasn't for what's going on up here, but
I always admit that.
Yeah, I liked him. He just was a
thank you, man.
To me, he was, if you're honest, he's probably the precursor to Patrick Mahomes if he had
only had a brain.
Yeah.
Had all the ego and everything else that you want. Yeah. Maybe the leadership was slightly questionable, but that upstairs portion,
kind of important. Matt, you brought up a name that obviously Chicago's got to be in this quarterback mix someplace, if they're not going up. But you brought up Davis Mills. This is a guy that Phil and I have talked about. I think Cars, I don't think you're quite as high on him.
I'm terrified of the knee.
We are. Yeah, that part is scary. But do you have a range where you think that you as a guy that would be comfortable in taking him? Because I mean, this can go haywire real quick for Chicago in terms of a quarterback. And if Davis Mills is their guy, is this a guy that they're going to have to? I mean, they're at number 20 right now. Are they going to have to move and stay within that? Do you expect them to go to 52?
Yeah, this is where my wheelhouse. I'm way outside my wheelhouse because I'm just a film studier and I don't do the soap opera of the draft. But so I don't. I'm like, people are like, where do you think this guy's gonna be picked? And I'm like, dude, heck if I know. But if I were to guess, there are people that it seems like the tenor of what I see around me is that there's some people that like him enough to be a developmental starter, which means maybe round 3 could be reached for round 2. But if you can get him in round 3, I'd be really happy about that. Like even if you traded up into the early to mid part of round 3 because he was still there and knew that your draft capital allowed you from a public relations standpoint, because these teams seem so worried about what the public thinks that
not
our team.
No.
What you're saying is Ryan Pace is trading up to 15 for him, then, right?
And giving up 6 firsts somehow. He's going to petition the NFL to give up.
Breaking news on Twitter: Matt Waldman just said.
That's fantastic. No, but he's I think if you could give him a couple years, he could be pretty darn good, but he's going to need the infrastructure, and I just don't know if they have that.
Right. Well, that's my thought process right now with me is I think that's probably the guy that they have earmarked for 52, and they figure they can buy some time with a guy like Dalton, kind of a similar type guy. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I know we have a lot of people in the chat. I'm not as big on this guy. I know Cars likes him. Phil's not as high on him. Talk about Kellen Mond and where you have him. I mean, he's got a bunch of tools in the bag, but they're all over the fucking garage. You know.
It's like that.
Kitchen.
Yeah,
and half of them are metric and half of them are US. Right?
Yeah, right.
None of them actually line up. Yeah.
I think they cut a hole in the bottom and threw it in Lake Michigan. I don't get him. I don't get it. I have 13 quarterbacks ranked, and he's my 13th quarterback. Like I just didn't see the accuracy. I didn't see the decision making. He has some nice little movement in the pocket at times. You certainly see the traits, but NFL people like traits. Yep. And I'm kind of more about if you have the baseline traits, we're good. And then after that, what I really want,
Matt.
Yes, I want intuition. I want guys who it's just like actors or music where like you don't want it, or a comedian, you want someone who has the timing to hit their mark and make it seem very spontaneous. And when you're watching football, if a guy like Brett Favre didn't even know what a nickel was for 2 years and had Ty Detmer have to tell him, but he practically invented the RPO and had the years that he had, it's because he reads leverage. It's because he sees the field right, and because he knows when that defender's in this position, as I drop back and I already had to tear myself away from the reach of somebody, that I still saw that leverage and I can hit that guy before he even breaks open because I see it and know it. And that's what I saw with Patrick Mahomes. And I said this on an earlier show. I'm kind of repeating myself, but it's like when I watched Patrick Mahomes and we saw that Mark and I, and I watched John Gruden doing his QB camp at that year with Mahomes and goes, "Why'd you do that?" And he says in that draw, "Because I can." Yeah. It's like, and it's just
that's football, right?
It's football, and it is. I mean, it's because the intelligence is there in his game. You see the logic, and he's doing that, but it's about leverage reading, and I think that's the issue with a guy like Mond is I just don't see him having those levels of skills. It's like he's got all the parts, but it doesn't glue together right, and it doesn't flow.
Matt, real quick, before we move off of that, I love that you brought up that quote with Patrick Mahomes, because I can, and I got to go back to Mitch Trubisky, because 2 years ago when they're asking him what he did to improve in the offseason, he's like, "I've been reading a lot of books." And they're like, "Well, what are you reading?" And he's like, "Well, I'm reading books on leadership because that's what leaders do." And I heard that, and I'm like, I called Phil immediately, and I'm like, this fucking guy. I'm like, you're reading a book on leadership because that's what leaders do. I mean, it's weird but for him to even go out publicly at a fucking press conference and say that to me is where I just like, oh,
And that's where, and you're young. So like in 20 years, he might be a hell of a leader somewhere doing something because he's studying it and learning, but he didn't have it at that time.
Yeah.
And that's what you need. And in contrast, my favorite story about Russell Wilson is that my buddy Cecil Lammey, who I'm on the Audible with, who's a host in Denver, on talk radio, he and I were at the Senior Bowl the year that Russell Wilson was there and was pretty much anonymous to everybody. And, we were interviewing that night, and I interviewing players that night at the player media night. And I was interviewing somebody, and I just wrapped up, and I saw my buddy Cecil, and he's sitting in a chair opposite Russell Wilson. And all of a sudden, Cecil says something, and Russell Wilson bolts up out of his chair. And for the split second, you would have thought he was on South Park doing the bro down, where he had like his hands back there like this, and he looked angry. And then he realized he caught himself. And Mr. Smooth kind of came back in, and that whole Michael Corleone kind of thing just kind of smiled and relaxed. And Cecil had stood up and he talked to him and left. And then when I about 2 minutes later, I caught up with him and I said, "Dude, what did you say to Russell Wilson that made him look like he wanted to fight you?" And he said, "You caught that?" And I said, "Yeah, I was like 20 yards away. I watched that. I was like, I couldn't believe it." And then he goes, "I'll tell you in a minute." So we get outside and he goes, it was the year that Tim Tebow took the Broncos to the playoffs. And he said, "Russell," he goes, "I'm a Denver guy, and this is what, I represent this company and do this." He goes, "How would you feel about starting behind Tim Tebow?" And he said he bolted out of the chair like that and looked pissed at me for the quickest minute. And then finally said, and smiled and said, "I have no intention of sitting behind anybody in the NFL."
Yes.
And when he told me that, and I went back and watched that dude's tape. Yeah. And that probably put me on the map, to be honest with you. Was that guy.
Mitch would have said, "I got to go ask my mom first." That's what he would have said.
He might have. Yes.
The true story is my father and I gave him an assignment because the Bears are always needing quarterbacks. It was a Saturday, and I said, "Watch all the quarterbacks today." I've told this story before, but I want you to hear it. And call me later tonight. This is what we do. We have a really good relationship. He is a Hall of Fame high school football coach here in Connecticut, and Sam was his coach. So he's learned, and I don't know if you know George DeLeon. He was offensive line. He was offensive line coach at Cleveland when they had Pettin. Pettin was the head coach with.
Okay.
Anyway, my dad calls me that night. I go, "Who do you got?" He's like, "I got Russell Wilson from it." I go, "I got Russell Wilson too." He's like, "Can you believe that these fucking guys won't draft this kid? You watch." He ended up transferring to Wisconsin and he became the captain, and they still couldn't figure it out, Matt.
Yeah.
And that's a problem because you're coming on the show tonight and I see the chat is loving you. And I love you. I've never had the opportunity, guys. This is no script. I don't have any questions written out. We're having a football conversation.
Can I just say this?
Yeah.
This is my favorite fucking show that I've done in like forever. And I love doing shows. But within the first 5 minutes, I was like, Jesus Christ, like these are the guys I'd like to hang with.
Yeah. You're our guy.
Anytime you want, man. We got you.
I was going to say that to you. I'm getting goosebumps down my back because I was like, I fucking love this guy. We got to have him on. My wife is texting me. That's why I was responding. She's like, "This guy is awesome." And she doesn't even know football. She gets mad at me.
Well, I don't know if you just saw me. I was looking down at my phone and my higher up upstairs, she texted me. She's like, "I turned it on. Why are you guys talking about cake and frosting?" And I thought you guys were talking about the draft. And I'm like, "Oh, Jesus." So she's even tuned it in, but that's awesome.
We have to make you a regular. And Barlissimo, to his credit, was like, "Phil, please get Waldman on there." I go, "Barlissimo, I don't do Twitter. Everybody's supposed to get guests. I do all the production and breakdown and analysis." Matt, I've followed you for a long time because of your details. Now I got to ask you this question because me and my father were watching this kid. I don't know where you have him ranked. I have not done any. I try not to read anybody's rankings. It's tonight, actually, being transparent. Shayne sent me Brugler's Beast book. So I'm gonna check that out because I'm totally gonna read yours as well.
And
Keeping
Dane's
it
good
100.
people. Dane's
Yeah,
good people.
yeah. I do my own stuff. Now I'm gonna start looking where everybody else sees. That's how I've always done it since I was a little boy playing hooky, watching it in the 3rd grade. True story. Where do you have my guy, this kid, Zach Thomas? Where do you see this kid from App State? This is a kid I feel like that has all these fucking traits and everything like that, but I don't know what his coaching was. I just love what I was seeing on tape. Where do you see him?
I didn't see anything because I didn't get a chance to watch him.
Oh,
yeah.
See, I didn't know.
Yeah, so it's okay.
Me and my father
now. Yeah,
me and my dad were watching this kid, and he's got tremendous athleticism and ball anticipation. But again, he's a raw guy, and I just really think somebody's going to draft this kid. So do me a favor. I will. I'm on Instagram. Do you do Instagram?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Or Facebook, whatever you do. Yeah. Or stay on after, or I'll somehow give you my cell number because I want to keep this conversation because I want to tell you something about Sam Rutigliano that I can't say on here tonight.
There's a lot of stuff we say on here, so that he can't say it on here should tell you.
That's juicy. That's
it's a true story. I promised Sam I would never ever share this.
You want to know who that snot-nosed kid in the stands in the Miami game back in the 70s was, right? The fucking Waldman's here.
His father wouldn't even bring him. You know?
Fucking kid doesn't even know how to bake. Sets it 401 degrees. What the fuck does he think he is?
Give me one surprise. They always call them sleepers at the quarterback position before we move on to the Bears' next position of need, because I don't know how long we have you, but I really want to tackle offensive tackle, no pun intended. But give me one sleeper. Obviously, you mentioned Mills, but somebody else other than him that has the tools, somebody maybe our fans could look at.
This is an oddball kind of one, but he's the guy I've ranked after Zach Wilson, and there's something about him that I could see how he's kind of like a David Garrard type of player.
Oh my God, I loved him.
And you know, he's just
like Rodney Pete.
Yeah, physical. He can operate, kind of moving around. He has some poise about him. His accuracy in the deep game was really crazy bad, like for his first couple of years, but it progressively got better. He tends to not play the rhythm passing game as well as he should, and as a result, he ends up having to scramble more than he should. Mm-hmm. But it's Texas quarterback Sam Ehlinger. Okay. There's something about Sam that I watch his game and I could see, all right, give him a little bit of time. Maybe he continues to grow, and he had a better deep game this year than what you just had too many passes bouncing off Brendan Eagle and Tariq Black's hands in the deep game.
A lot of drops.
Yeah. And so but he's an athlete, he's like a physical dude who I see show that poise under pressure. And that's a tough thing to do. And so I'm kind of there with him, and I'll lump Jamie Newman in there with him in a sense, because there's moments with him where like you get those task-oriented guys who are like, I remember remember processes A through K, and I can hold all that in my mind, but they're so concentrating on the next step that they don't see someone who's blowing up basically what's happening G through K, and they have to stop and adjust. And Jamie Newman to me has consistently been the guy that's like, he may not always be as accurate as you want, though he's great in the deep range of the game and the intermediate sidelines. He's very good there, and he's tough and he's big and he can throw the ball. But he's also that guy that when the process isn't going right, he recognizes it immediately and says, I got to do something about this, as opposed to like your Alex Smith early in his career who could tell you, I can recite the whole playbook for you, but I'm so stuck in this and I'm about to get my head blown off, because I'm rolling out and a blitzer comes and I don't even see it. And all the fans are like, how could you not see that? And it's because, you've got to concentrate on so much. And he was concentrating on that stuff.
Would have loved to have seen him play at UGA.
Oh yeah, that would have been fun.
Yeah.
How does that work, Matt? Real quick. with these guys that have sat out, the GMs are going to have to project the growth with a full year out. This is something we've never really seen. Maybe, like going back to Roger Staubach, he had to go serve, right? And then you projected the talent that would return. How is it going to be like this?
I think they have a bigger opportunity for failure where they can live with that failure the deeper the guy is in the round. So for them, it's like, after round 5, it's probably not a risk for them because if scouts make the mistake, you always hear scouts say, I hear scouts say this all the time, where it's like one of the biggest problems with certain young scouts is because if they don't get trained the way that they need to, that what happens is that if they really like a guy, but they're afraid to get criticized for it, they'll give him a round 4 grade because it's safe. And they say he's just got a lot of upside. Yeah. But if there's a guy that they don't like a lot, but everyone else likes him, they give him a round 4 grade because they're high enough to not be saying you guys are idiots, and I like this. It's kind of like if you work in corporate America and you get the evaluation grade and it's like it's a scale of 1 through 7 and nobody gets a 7 unless like the VP recommends that, tells the manager that he can do it, and no one gets a 1 unless they're getting canned. So you got 2, 3, and 4, and basically most people are getting a 3, and then there's a range of people in the 3 are looking at the coworker who got the 3 and go, how the fuck did that guy get a 3?
Exactly.
He's falling asleep. He's late all the time, and he's falling asleep. And he's always talking to his wife, and all whatever. And then the other guy's looking at him, going, "Well, you're like reading fantasy stuff like 3 hours every day." And
exactly.
It's like,
excuse me, Michael Scott, the GM over there. That's what that is. Excuse me. I had something caught in my throat here.
So is Dwight? Does that make Dwight Schrute like if Dwight Schrute?
Yes.
If we're playing Dunder Mifflin, would Dwight Schrute be like the quarterback who like would he be Kirk Cousins maybe like multiple failures?
Yes.
And then finally he did get he got his branch once and then he shot his gun and that didn't work out. And then
would be the Tyler Bray. He would be the assistant to the manager of the Chicago QB room. He's got 8 years.
He's got 8 years of this offense. He hasn't thrown a fucking pass yet, but he's better.
Manager to the quarterback's regional managing quarterback.
Yeah, there we go.
All I see is Tyler Bray with the Dwight. It's true.
At least you all had a quarterback once in your your lifetimes who would have looked at Dunder Mifflin and would have said hell no and just ride off on his motorcycle.
Yeah.
It's true.
I know we're an hour in here. I don't want to overstep your time. It's very valuable, obviously. But if you're cool, I just wanted to talk to you about our tackles are a necessity here. They've been horrible in my film study. It's been putrid. In fact, it's been so neglected here by this GM. He hasn't drafted a tackle in the first 4 rounds since he's been the GM. He hasn't drafted a quarterback but once in the draft, and he's promised to do both these things all the time, emphasizing their importance, yet neglecting to do it. 6th, 7th round, as you said, he's got high upside, great get off, all these terms. Where do you look at the tackle? Here we are at 20. Obviously, we went through the quarterbacks, and if you didn't hear that later, go back, check out Matt Waldman's breakdown and analysis. It's like step for step with us. The tackle position, though, obviously Panay's number 1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for me, because I focus, I'll give a disclaimer here. I study so much quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end tape that I'm not as well versed in these guys, but I'll give a few takes if you want.
Give me absolutely.
Okay.
You're my guy, man.
So, listen, Sewell,
soul brother
from the guy. Hey, man. but Sewell, a lot of people are talking about the arm length, which I think is a little overstated with this guy, that they're worried about that. And my buddy Scott Bischoff, who does a lot of stuff with the Lions, and writes at Football Guys, and he's a guy I hang out with a lot with the Senior Bowl and worked with Russ Landy's GM Junior group when they were there. we were talking about him the other day, and he said, listen, he goes, I don't get why everybody's freaking out about the arm length. He goes, watch him against Auburn in 2019. And I did. I went back and watched that game. I've seen that game probably 10 times anyway from studying everybody else.
Right.
I've studied Derek Brown when I was watching that, and it was like, yeah, he's holding his own against a number of guys, Davidson, and he's and doing just fine. So I think that's a little overstated. Sewell looks good to me. Slater, you guys have probably seen a lot of him, and he seems like to be a really good technician.
I love him.
Yeah. So to me, technicians, if you got a great technician and maybe he's a little bit on the light side, whatever. I would like you. I'd rather have a football player than an athlete. And it's not like it's not a one or other proposition with this guy,
Right.
So we get a little ridiculous about that. So I feel pretty good about him. I haven't seen much of Darisaw, but I was a little worried about his feet because you could see where there's points where he doesn't kind of drop and widen out as well as he needs to with that slide. And so maybe guys get around him a little bit more. And then, I'm trying to think that Radunz guy,
from North Dakota.
Yeah, North Dakota seems to be pretty good.
Yeah, he's a good football player. Somebody I really like, actually. 20 becomes a curious case. You got this kid, again, if you're not, I don't want to put any pressure on you. I thought, your take on these guys would just define some of the things exactly what Barlissimo's. That was the guy I'm thinking of that I have to have in this draft is Hufanga, because he's just a football player. That's the kind of football players
safety from USC.
The safety from USC. I absolutely like. If the Bears fuck up everywhere, but they get Hufanga, I think I'll be happy because I know at least you got a football player.
Yeah,
they've done pretty well in the middle rounds, but this tackle position, Charles Leno, if he is the question, the answer is puppy shit. That's what it is. And it's really unfortunate because David Montgomery is an elite runner. And we had him on the show last week, and he was tremendous talking with us, and he was so classy, but I said all the hard things for him. He just said, listen, I just run with it.
I don't talk for 4 days. I just run them.
But I kept a hard press on it. Obviously, this kid Jenkins from Oklahoma State, really
toolsy.
He has a lot of fucking things that I like.
You gotta love his attitude.
His attitude, his mentality and effort through the whistle. I know Barlissimo loves Eichenberg from Notre Dame.
Yep.
That guy, and then the other kid, the young pup, who's got so much. And I hate to say this word because you never win with potential, but Mayfield from Michigan. His upside is so big because he's so athletic and big. I think he's still growing into his body. That's how big he is. So those three guys at 20, Eichenberg, Jenkins, and Mayfield, which one of them would you pick?
Well, to me, if you can get a blend of the tools along with the attitude and that kind of edge,
yeah,
I go with the Oklahoma State kid. I mean, that's what you want out of a player. I mean, I don't know. I just to me, I want players who are.
You could be my GM.
I appreciate it because I want. Listen, I mean, we joked when I'd go on Cleveland Browns networks every year. They go, "What'd you think of our draft?" And I'd say, "You should have picked Lamar Jackson to pair with the running backs you had, or this kid Patrick Mahomes."
Exactly.
You know. And then they got Grant Delpit, who I loved, and then he got hurt. But I was a Nick Chubb fan. Like I was ready to leave being a Cleveland Browns fan because they got Baker Mayfield, and I was like, "Oh, good. This is my out. Like this is it." I'm like, I'm out. This is good. This is
in a weird way. I've been waiting for this moment.
I have. That's exactly what it was. And then they picked Nick Chubb, who was my top back in that class, above Saquon just by a little bit. And I was like, "You've got to be fucking kidding me!"
It's the Godfather 3, right?
Yeah.
It's every time I think I'm out, they pull me.
They did. I was like, this sucks. Okay. But it was like, now I'm happy because, he's getting to play and Hunt is a fun, him and Hunt together is a lot of fun to watch. And it's like watching the old Cleveland Browns I grew up with under Schottenheimer, which to me was like, those are the model of teams I grew up with. Was like
Biner years,
Ernest Biner was my favorite player. So
really,
the high effort, the versatility, the
big shoulder pads,
big shoulder pad, all that, could catch the ball, and it's like, watching them, and I became a fan of teams that had a good offensive line, a smart quarterback, man-to-man cover corners who hit hard, and a good running game. And that's why I ended up becoming a McNair and Eddie George fan. After the Browns left, it became a zombie team for a while. And then, the Seahawks, when Marshawn Lynch got traded. As soon as Marshawn Lynch got traded, I was like, I'm going there, because McNair was gone. He went to the Ravens. It's like rooting for your girlfriend's, your ex-girlfriend's husband. It's just like you may even get along with the guy, but it's just not,
Your pride's not going to allow that to happen.
My favorite, the only game I really watched as a fan this year was Cleveland, Baltimore in Cleveland. That was a great game. And I'm a closet Ravens fan. I tell people I'm a closet Ravens fan because they do everything I like. Want the Browns to do. They do it. And it's just like, but I can't go whole hog and root for them yet. I don't think it can happen. But
you can't leave that loyalty.
It's hard to do. And I've lived in Atlanta for most of the time. I've lived in Georgia for about 40 years. So, but I was a Browns fan. That's how I started. And it was like, I'm not going to be another fan of another team. For the most part. I have AFC and NFC teams I like, but I'll whether I like it or not, I'll be a Cleveland Browns fan.
I mean, if Mouse Davis and the run and shoot can't convert you to a Falcons fan, I don't know what can. I really have no idea.
Hey, June Jones. June Jones used to call our house and leave messages because he knew a member of the family who was trying. They were trying to do some work together at that time, because that was when June Jones was a failed quarterback in terms of in the NFL, and was trying to find some work at that time. And he used to leave messages. I didn't no idea who he was at 11 years old. Whatever.
June said he would take. June said if he was picking for Jacksonville, he'd take Mac Jones number 1, no doubt.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
There you go.
He said he'd take him over Lawrence.
June. So your favorite player, Browns, was Biner.
Ernest Biner.
100%.
100%. Yep.
That's a solid pick.
That's solid.
I met him. Met him. And the only fan moment I ever had,
I thought it was going to be
was him.
The tight end, Ozzie Newsome.
He was my first favorite player. When you were growing up and I first became a Brown, he was my favorite guy. But then when I matured into a football fan, Ernest Biner took that spot over, because there was something about that dude's heart and how he played. And you could just see it the way that he played. And he was such an underdog type of player. I met him at the Senior Bowl, and him and Sam Gash were standing next to each other. I was standing. I had
a big backfield.
Yeah, right. And I was watching DeMarco Murray, and on either side of me, and I liked DeMarco Murray that year. And they were practicing, and they both sidle up on the other side of me at the fence and start talking. And I look over, and it's him, and I'm sitting here going, don't be that fanboy. Don't be a fanboy. Don't be a fanboy. And I'm literally sitting there thinking to myself, don't do it. You never a fanboy about anybody, but don't do it with him. Okay. But I waited and we ended up talking a little bit about players, and he made fun of me because I was excited. And I was talking about DeMarco Murray, and he goes, what are you, his agent? And I was laughing, started laughing. And then he goes, he is a, and he was like, yeah, that guy definitely is like a thoroughbred of a player. And nice conversation. And then when the practice was over, and I stayed quiet after that for about 20, 30 minutes. And then after practice was over, I just came up to him and I said, I got to be a fanboy for a minute, man. And just told him, I was like, you were by far my favorite player. And, I learned a lot watching you play. And he was really gracious.
That's awesome, man. That is awesome. You are awesome. Matt Waldman, we've kept you on. I want to continue this relationship. I don't want to overstep your
Not at all.
This is getting a little weird. I hope Steph isn't listening anymore.
I know. I
just want to make sure.
God puts people in places.
Exactly. That is true.
Sam said that to me when I was in Cleveland with him. God puts you in places where you meet people that define the rest of your life, if you allow that. That was his exact quote. I'll never forget it. He's a very wise man, and so is Matt. I mean, tonight, honestly, I never know what to expect, but your kindness, your compassion, and your emphasis on football first is the reality where so many of these GMs, or I call them shoe salesmen, are fucking up, because that's the reality of what you're dealing with when it comes to the biggest, most important decisions that need to be made, because guys like Ernest Biner become Matt Waldman's, soul and spirit. We live each and every week with the Bears winning and losing. That's where this passion for the game is. So these GMs that are in that position to make these choices and put potential first instead of football first, that's they've lost before the fucking war ever began. But anyway,
I love it. I love it.
I've said it all, Matt. You have to do one last thing for me and this show. Obviously, or two things. I'll be lying. Shayne doesn't even know about the first. First thing is you got to promise to come back after the draft, because I want your fucking complete guys.
What'd you think of our draft, Matt? Just like he doesn't.
I want.
We may be tanked beyond recognition, though. I want to set the bar. If it goes like all of a sudden, we trade, to Shayne's point, we trade 6 picks to go get Davis Mills in the 15th pick overall. Like we may be drunk.
We're gonna call it Waldman's cookbook when he comes back. Is it gonna be a great meal? Are we getting a baker, a chef? Are we getting a fucking football player? What is it going to be? Can you promise me that we could schedule that with you, and we'll talk, because I really want to send this intro to you.
Without a doubt. Are you kidding? Like, I didn't lie when I said this show was like, I feel like I belong here.
Yes.
Like,
welcome home. Welcome home. Yeah, welcome home.
Chef Waldman. Exactly.
Yeah, I promise that that if there's any frosting on the cover, we'll wipe that shit off.
Yes, please.
With a big ass knife before we even get started.
Perfect.
Oh, I definitely promise to come back. That's not like even an issue. Like
we gotta send you some swag. Get this guy. What do you like? A t-shirt? Oh, Shayne always gets mad at me. I'm giving you a t-shirt.
I like that.
There you go. I'm not allowed to give any hoodies out anymore. It's getting expensive, apparently.
I can live with the t-shirt.
Well, I'll get that for I think he doesn't need if you live in Georgia, there's not much need of a hoodie.
Oh well. That's
Parts unknown, I think.
Parts unknown, yes.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
But it does get cold here a little more than you think, but not Midwest weather. I mean, I lived in Cleveland, Ohio. I know what lake effect snow is,
yes.
And I grew up around that. And yeah, I'm probably that shorts guy in the winter anyway, and down here because I was born in a blizzard in Massachusetts. One of my, and I grew up in all that snow. So it's like, I come down here and all this hot weather is like drives me crazy.
Another great show, an amazing guest, great guest. You're getting love, guys.
I appreciate it.
Do me one favor, fans in the chat. You've been tremendous. Obviously, we didn't get to a lot of your questions. Our producers. We had a moderator. He got sick. A lot of drama going on. But follow Matt at Matt Waldman on Twitter. Let him know you heard him here. Show him the 100 Crew love, because he's experienced the family tonight. He is the chef, Matt Waldman. Last favor, we asked for a station ID, Matt. And this is how it goes down. I give you the script. Now, our last guest took him 3 takes. Akeem Hicks has the record, 9 takes. What was it, 9 or 10?
9. He got it on his 9th.
So all we ask is you say your name. This is Matt Waldman. You could add anything. The rookie report, the whole 9 from fucking Georgia, Big Brown, whatever it is that you want. Then you say, and you're keeping it 100 on the Tape Never Lies network. That's it. And then you will lead next week's show. So you'll be the lead on the show. That's how we do it here each and every week. So do you think you could do that? I can give you, I'll mock it.
I think I can do it.
You got it.
I think I can do it.
Okay, I'll count you down. Okay. I'm going to isolate on you. Can you give him his name? Take off the comment there. There it is. There's his brand as well. I love that. Perfect. Go check out his scouting portfolio, guys, too. Subscribe to Matt's 2021 NFL Rookie Scouting Portfolio. If you're listening on the podcast version, it's https, the whole 9, Matt Waldman, rsp.com /. That's where you'll find his stuff. Matt, what is this? Who put that up there? All right. I'm going to count you down in 3, 2, 1.
This is Matt Waldman, author of the Rookie Scouting Portfolio from Parts Unknown, and you're keeping it 100 on the Tape Never Lies Network.
Listen to that guy.
Oh, this is my brother from another. Jesus Christ. Holy shit.
This guy could be a singer with that voice.
Hey, man, listen.
Gotta play that one more time for you, Matt. You're laughing too hard.
Oh my God.
That's the best, most fucked up prank I've had on a
You can even roll your R's really well. Rolls his R's really well.
Dude,
oh my God.
That's some pipes, man.
If you don't, Matt could read me a story with those pipes.
Dude, can I just add one thing about the RSP for folks?
Please, you have all the time. Do you want to isolate on you, or you want to stay with us?
I can stay with you guys for sure.
Okay.
I just want to say that if not only do you get a nice, draft guide devoted to 4 positions, and you get a post-draft guide and a newsletter that comes with the price, but a percentage of the sales goes to an organization called Darkness to Light. And what they're designed to do is to prevent sexual abuse of children through education of communities, whether it's, churches, preschools, colleges, fire departments, police, individuals, whatever. And then if the unfortunate happens where a child is abused, that they actually do training to help people understand how to address that with children so they don't compound the issue. And it's a tough issue. It's a taboo issue. We've had a lot of good laughs on this show. But I do want to say it's something that a lot of people don't like talking about, because 1 in 4 kids it happens to. This month is Child Abuse Prevention Month. So it's a good time. And the RSP has already donated $4,000 this year to that cause. And I've been donating about $5,000 a year since 2011. I think that's when the Penn State scandal happened. Figured that, as football fans, that would be a good thing for us to be able to do. So you're giving to a good cause as well if you do that. And if you have any problems, you'll be contacting me directly by email. If you have any issues, I get back to people within 24 hours in case the mouse, the hamster's running in the cage, trying to power up what I do, have any type of stall outs. I help people out pretty quick.
You got people going over there to buy it now. What a great cause. Our producer, Chris Jackal, he does this for a profession. He works here in Connecticut and deals with that in the Department of Children and Families. That's what we call it here in Connecticut. So this strikes way, way in the family. Again, this guy giving me goosebumps. Goosebumps, man. Our guy right here works in child protection services. So this is a great cause, and it's even more of a reason because you're getting the benefit of the complete analysis and the thorough details that this guy brings to the table. And I can endorse this based on our interview tonight, that the football aspect of it first and foremost comes into his analysis. That is the opposite, Matt, of any of those blog boy fucking trolls that just are regurgitating all of everybody. No, not you, Matt. You are not a blog boy. So tonight we had our premiere, Matt Waldman, of my song with Cool Kennedy, who was before you. It was called The Blog Boys, and I'm talking about the trolls, haters, and bullshitters, narrative writers on Twitter that have defined people's careers and destroyed people and are just angry, ugly people. And we're going to end the show with that song that we do all original music, obviously, like I said, except your intros, which Shayne gets mad at me for using. I just want to hear a little bit of Matt Waldman's intro again. Just the beat just gets me fired up. You tell me this doesn't set the tone.
Once we hit April 1st, we told you all that TTNL was going into overdrive.
Look at that. It gets you fired up. You guys listening on the podcast, you can hear it in your cars with your Dunkin' Donuts on the go coffee. Matt Waldman, you've said it all. You're the man. I'm leaving here becoming a huge fan of you. I'm so glad. We're definitely, the chat is freaking crazy tonight, wanting to make sure that he becomes a regular. That is a guarantee now.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. There it is. That's the drop, Cherie. That's the drop right there.
Hell yes.
Open next show.
We'll get rid of the station ID. We'll just use that one right there.
Yeah.
TTNL, fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah, TTNL.
Actually, that's a pretty good t-shirt.
Yes. I'm going to make a Waldman t-shirt. Where's our swag guy, Acevedo? Just says, fuck yeah, on the back. TTNL, fuck yeah. Hell yeah. Unbelievable. What a great guest. Thank you so much, Matt, for giving us your time. I know you're busy, and you honestly, you fit right in. You're just a tremendous human being. And what you're doing, let me say this to end all of this. Not only are you doing the football stuff, a service, but you're doing something that speaks volumes about the integrity of you by giving that back to something that's a huge issue in this country and the world, and how we treat young children and how it goes down like that. So if you're not subscribed, please head over to his rookie scouting portfolio, Matt Waldman, rsp.com/ the cause is double fold. You get smarter at football, and you also help a great cause. Thank you so much, Matt Waldman.
Pleasure was mine. Thank you.
Really. Thank you too, man. The pleasure is mine, honestly.
It's still getting weird, Phil.
Carlissimo's in the chat. It was
my
mine.
buddy,
I told you.
As my buddy Gene Bramwell would say, who's on our Football Guys Audible show, it's only weird if you make it weird.
That's right.
That's my job. That's what I do on this show.
He's that guy always hating on me. I could be getting my Grammy. Like, he could have gotten 2.
Yeah.
No, we'll leave that one there.
Thanks, Matt.
All right, Matt. God bless you, man.
Yeah,
we'll
man.
talk
Same to
soon.
y'all. And
I'll get how will I get? Can you put your phone number in the private chat, or should I get it from Barlissimo?
I'll send it to Barlissimo through the DM on Twitter.
Yes,
and
please
give me a call.
I will call you.
Thank you.
We'll talk.
Beautiful.
You're the best, man.
Thanks, Matt.
For you guys,
Booking you right after the fucking draft. Fuck yeah.
Word. Fuck yeah. Exactly. See y'all
later.
Wow.
That was awesome.
You got to be a fan of football. It brings people together, man. It's just, well, Rel said it. What a guest.
Actually, Phil, we forgot to bring up, and he would have been perfect to talk about it. Like, take everybody behind the curtains a little bit. Yeah. I've known Matt for a while and been a huge fan, bought his draft guide for quite a while. And I've never seen him face to face, or
you have to tell him that story.
I know. I
didn't want to tell him tonight.
No, I think he would have. I think he would have loved it.
He would have loved it. But
we're working on the promos and everything for the show, and Phil did a thumbnail, and I was looking around last night at some stuff and thinking about tonight, and
I'm getting out of the shower, right?
I see the thumbnail, and I'm like,
what the fuck is Shayne calling me for at this time? Something happened.
Phil's like, yo, I could literally hear the fucking shower running still. He's like, what's up? I'm like, bro, you did the fucking thumbnail for the promo of the show, and I don't know who the fuck you put on here, but that ain't Matt Waldman. And he's like, what? I'm like, dude, that ain't him. He's like,
I go, dude, what did I say? I go, I did 40 minutes.
You're like, I
wanted to find
everywhere.
the perfect picture.
He's
of
like,
him.
that's him. And I'm like, bro, it is not Matt Waldman. I'm like, watch. So I'm looking, and I had in my mind, I still got to figure out who I had in my mind, who it was.
Yeah.
But it was not the guy that we saw tonight at all. So Phil's like, no, that's him, bro. So I was blown away with that.
First time he was wrong, Shayne.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm going to blow up your spot.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
Oh, man, Carr's taking some fucking heat here. He's the best Matthew on the show.
That's a low bar.
But that's really not your name. I don't even know you as Matt. As you know,
no, it's only if I'm in trouble. It's only if I'm in trouble does Matthew come out. To this day, if my mother says Matthew, I'm cowering somewhere. Yeah.
But
you guys, I'm very proud. Let me say this. I'm so proud of this network. Like, things are going on, karma, the whole thing. But the reality is the fans have spoken. And I want to include you guys. So all you have to do is become a patron, subscribe in that www.thetapeneverlies.com, become a patron. I see so many people saying it's the best $7 I ever spent, learning so much. We're busting our asses here to really, it's almost like you're helping produce something that you guys enjoy. So with me saying that, at the same time, if you can't afford it, whatever, I completely understand. I just want to thank every person that has said something positive or has done the be a friend, tell a friend. Because the more you share and the more the guests and everything come on here and feel like Matt Waldman did, because that's what life should be. That's what football talk should be. It shouldn't be some blog boy leading the fucking charge on a parade on stats. You heard the fucking floor dropped out of the chat room when he said he's my 6th best quarterback in Zach Wilson, right?
Yeah,
we could have called it a show at that moment.
Oh no,
exactly.
I
I was
totally
right
agree.
there. He's 5 for me. He's my 5th. And we haven't released that. I'm teasing.
You haven't been on in a couple of weeks, but we've been talking about that, and I get so many DMs from people, and it's just like, how are you so low on Zach Wilson? And I mean, to a man, all of us here on the network, we all agree on Mac Jones, and our take on Zach Wilson has been
that's what the thing is.
The same.
He's 100% true. For me, how much time am I spending studying the Bears, cutting tape, doing that? Now I got to transition. I'm catching up. So for me to go putting top 50 out there, that would be bullshit. I can't tag my name to that.
Right.
I'd be fucking lying to you. I don't look at a guy's fucking 40 time and metrics and change my whole fucking stats based on that. It's what the tape is. So I'll reach out to some people. What do you think of this guy? Like Jenkins is somebody that I fucking, in the last 7 days, Jenkins from Oklahoma State, who we talked about, is, oh my God.
He's become my guy at 20.
I got to get this fucking guy on the team. That's the reality. I did a mock draft a few weeks ago, and I picked Mayfield. Because Jenkins, I didn't study enough of. Then you do that. That's where you have to get that from this
I think
network.
he was gone, wasn't he? In that?
I don't remember.
I
He
think
might have been. I
Jenkins
think he might have been gone. But
Yeah,
the
he was
reality
gone.
is, I probably would have taken Mayfield. I keep it transparent. I don't have nothing to fucking hide. I'm not gonna I'm not creating the wheel, and I'm not breaking news for nobody. I'm just being me. That's where I do. And you heard us in the beginning. I said credit to fucking Cars and credit to Shayne about Mac Jones. That's the reality of what they shared with me, and I was step for step. They know I will battle back and forth, and Shayne will always throw fucking Braverman, Manziel, or Hackenberg.
Short white guys are Phil's weakness.
We can go back even farther. We can go back even farther. Dan Design, right? Cars, remember those days?
Here's my truth about Dan Bazine. Let me get this for the fucking message board. Dan Bazine had a lot of talent. I was defending. Okay, he had a bunch of. He got injured. We never saw what he was. He was a second-round pick. I was like, you know what? On tape, I love this guy. I was what, 22 years old when we were having. What year was that? That's fucked up.
You didn't have the tape ability that we have now.
Oh my God!
Right? Like
all we had was the Trevelizer 2000.
You had a VHS tape, and you're hoping to catch. There's only back in our day, there was one ESPN. There wasn't 47 like there are now, right? You couldn't record this stuff. It was all just reading and trying to put it all together. It was so terrible.
Listen. The other thing is, I got to say this. I got to shout out the network. We have such great fans that someone has given us the all 22, and I can't mention their name, the college all 22 cars.
Oh,
I haven't even shared this with cars.
I've said, let's share with him tonight. We got the all 22 of college tape.
We found the end of the rainbow cars, and that pot is full of all 22.
TTNL,
college.
Again, our shows will be able to break down Davis Mills all 22 on Draft Mob. Me and my father will be able to break down all 22 of whatever offensive tackle.
45
Jenkins.
minutes on Mills's footwork in the pocket alone. Yeah,
there you go. So that's what we're gonna do. That's where this network is going, and it's like I said. I shout out Jackal, but I got to shout out Rachaad Kennedy and Lawrence Fleming, the voice. These guys have been saying it. Share it. The fuck. Share it. Let people know. Just like I let people know. If I like something, like my boys at the Clubhouse, Chicago Clubhouse podcast, I share it with you. You know, Rasheed Davis came in here. He didn't know what to expect. Now he's a friend. Matt Waldman, same tonight.
Yeah.
You guys, you fans of our network, even you motherfucking blog boy trolls, make us better. I think
I'm never going to miss that opportunity. Just take it. Just sit there and take it.
Breaking news. The tape never lies. Network breaking news.
Phil.
Yes.
We have some major breaking news here.
Did Anthony
TTNL news desk? No, even bigger.
Bigger?
Yes. Wednesday, April 7th.
Yes.
So in 2 days is a very, very big day, as you know.
2 days.
Yeah, which would be April 9th. If you look down
April
below.
9th?
Yeah, we have a birthday coming up for somebody. I don't know who it could be. Somebody stretching out here.
No, I have no idea what old man.
You conform to the blog boys?
I have no idea who that.
And we have been sent a very special message.
Yes.
For the birthday boy car. So Phil, if you can leave him up on the screen so he can react to this video.
Oh, okay. Let me see
I'm
if
not
I
ready
can do
for
this.
this. Please, no one wants to see my face.
I hope this will work, Shayne.
Hello, everybody!
Oh, God.
Happy birthday! Happy birthday! Happy birthday!
This is the greatest thing.
Happy birthday! Happy birthday to Mr. Cars from the TTNL network. I love you so much. Oh, yes, I do.
This is the greatest thing ever.
Hello of the show, you know. Hello, you are. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. Cars. And it's your friend, Angelo.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is glorious.
Oh, it gets better. It gets better.
Spanish. He's got that Spanish.
I mean, at least Kate Beckinsale is in the background.
You gotta listen to this.
Wait, what is he doing?
Happy birthday, Cars. We love you from the TTNL show. Keepin It 100, baby. Cars, I'm so happy that it's your birthday. When you come to Connecticut, I'm going to give your kids a ride on the wagon with the mini bike.
Oh. My God. I'm I'm coming on Friday. My wife is working, but Aubrey and Maisie and I will be there this weekend for this.
And there you have it, guys. We got a nice little wagon ride.
There's a coupon redeemable by April 25th. You guys are gonna love it. All right?
Angelo.
So, keeping it 100 TTNL.
Oh my God. I was cracking up.
This is everything I've ever hoped and dreamed for in a birthday present.
There's your birthday present. Angelo, you're Donatello on this network, according to Angelo. You're the Donatello of the four.
The nerd. Yeah, the nerd. It totally works. Absolutely. Yeah.
His mother only got 24 stitches from the size that he was throwing around in that.
They also have unrelated. They have to re-drywall the entire room. But yes,
my God.
absolutely.
Angelo calls me today. He's like, Coach.
Hey, Coach,
bring the boys over. I'll bring them in the wagon. I'll drive them in the wagon. 30 minutes after Shayne sent me that video of him driving the wagon. Oh my God. Angelo is coming back. Are we going to tell him his task? Maybe we can get a patron, Shayne.
Well, yeah, we won't release it yet.
Reveal?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not yet.
That's a big tease.
Yeah.
But
you're not going to want to miss. You're not going to want to miss that show.
The Angelo return.
Yeah, don't drink anything because you're going to end up pissing your pants. But
this is going to be huge for the network. You think that was funny? Which it was, because it brought tears to my eyes.
That was priceless.
I've been laughing. Tonight was such a great show. It was like one of those nights. I was a little anxious because of the premiere of the Blog Boys song in the network, and we had all this stuff going on. I had a bit crazy week. We had a COVID scare. I had to rush out of work, worrying about my sons. But everything was okay, thankfully. God willing. So then tonight, this is the reality of where we are with this network. Guys, I always said, last thing, as I was saying when Shayne cut me off, if you become a patron, we're going to do a live fan-only draft. Me and Shayne, Cars, Claudio, Jackal, all the team are going to produce you guys being the drafters for all of these teams. So you have to be serious about it. That's why I'm reaching out to patrons to see who you're going to be the Jets GM, and we make a fan mock. We're going to send that in and compete with other mocks. I guess they have a big contest. If we win that, there'll be some money in return that we could donate to cancer and SpencerStrong. And we'll have a lot of fun on the live show, and we'll produce it up with all the bells and whistles. So hopefully you go over there, become a patron, www.thetapeneverlies.com. Let me know. I have 4 guys myself that are in. Shayne has how many? 3 or 4?
Yeah, I have 3 here on my end. And we'll send out something to the patrons officially.
Put it in there. Yeah,
tomorrow I'll send it out, and because the way
to get that rolling.
Yeah, the structure of this is going to be
quick. You got to have.
Well, yeah, it's going to be quick, and it's going to the way that the mock draft is. And I know this is probably going to piss people off, but we're not going to get into trades and everything like that. You're going to have an allotted amount of time. And if you have a team, part of the process of being able to be the GM of that team, you're going to have headphones. You're going to have a device where we can see you, and we're going to send you a link, and everybody's got to be prepared because just like in the draft,
we'll pass you up.
Yep, we'll pass you up, and we'll literally go on to the next guy because, everybody's going to get a couple of minutes of airtime for the pick to talk about it.
Yeah.
I don't know, Phil, did the guys that you have, did they give out the teams? Or you just said that they wanted to be GM?
Because I wanted to be GMs.
Yeah, because I have 3 guys on my list so far, and they are actually 4, I should say, on my list, and they've all been assigned They've all been assigned teams, and just so
put
everybody
that in the thing.
Just so everybody knows,
Jack. Go ahead.
Ryan Cox, Spencer Strong's father, he is going to be the honorary GM of our Chicago Bears and making that pick.
He's an excellent get off.
Shut up, Ryan. But yeah,
great get off.
We'll send out a thing officially tomorrow via Patreon. You guys will all be alerted, and you can comment under there, and it will really come as a
Sammy the Bull is in.
First come, serve. First come, first serve with whatever
Nichols.
team.
I hope he's a
perfect
patron yet. I don't know if he is.
So
Claudio Abreu. I know he wants to be the Tampa Bay Bucks.
All right, I'm writing him down.
Yeah, put him down. My buddy Jack just wants to be in it. He just wants to be a GM. Rachaad Kennedy, obviously Cool Kennedy, who is a patron on top of the music director. That's how much he believes in this network. He is going to be in, Shayne. He wants in. Okay, so Sammy the Bull. Look at this. It's like a fucking, what is that shit? An auction. Where's Brett Mailey?
Right.
Brett Mailey's got to be in there. I know he would want to be in. So yeah, it doesn't cost you anything other than you have to be a patron. We're gonna have a meeting. It's gonna be serious. You're gonna be backstage. You're gonna get time, and you got to come up and be on time. Barrelissimo, I don't know yet. We might fire you and then hire you with the Saints. No, I'm joking. If you want to be in it, Barrelissimo, yes. Unless you paid your you have to have swag. Barrelissimo. We got to get him some swag. These are notes in my head that are throwing off. So yes, we'll talk about Barrelissimo. I know Tanswell from England. He could represent England. There he is. He's right there. He was the guy that reached out.
We haven't announced the date yet, Jeffrey. It's going to be here over the next.
We're definitely going to be doing it live on our
May
YouTube
5th,
channel
after the draft.
Yeah,
we're gonna do the mock, and that's the way we're going to rock it.
Listen, we said it all tonight. We've done a lot.
Great show.
Just a great show. You love football. You love here. We gave you a little mini rant on bullshit ass racist ignorance. If you see it, stand against it. It's that simple. That was my one pillar I wanted, soapbox that I want to stand on. We're over here doing our best to keep people in this world better. That's really. I need to take over for Matt Nagy. I do. I'll have Shayne and Matt Waldman in the GM areas. Our area lead scout would be Matt Karstensen. They'll get all the details, and I will be coaching this fucking football team like a fucking maniac out there. They'll be throwing me out of the game probably if I lose my shit on a ref.
We might throw you out of the draft room because we don't really value your impact, your decision making, right? We'll do it just like we did to John Fox in the Mitch Trubisky draft, right? Like,
I will speak my mind. I will fight for my guys. Draft me football players, Pace. That's your job. Next week, we have our guests lined up. We don't have our guest yet next week. We do. We have the Footwork King is making his return next week. Going to be talking about his draft, and possibly T. Nick, I think, is in the chat right now. Put him on the spot. Supposed to be booking Bernard Berrien coming back. So maybe we get Bernard Berrien next week. But I know Rashad Whitfield, the Footwork King, who's been working with, David Montgomery and a bunch of college prospects. He's going to give us some intel on his guys and the players he did look at. Also, Shayne, Manscaped. Do we have that Manscaped promo?
We do.
Listen, all I could do is speak the truth on the Manscaped thing. Okay? I don't need a script. I have used it. All I know is that it works. It doesn't cut in areas of your private area that normally you want to be careful and cautious. If you use this promo code Shy City, I thought it was KI100. They changed it.
Oh yeah, this is
theirs. You're putting up the wrong info.
Well, I'm not supposed to be doing this. Where did our guy go?
Yes, our producer, Chris Jackal, I guess we need Cherie back. Claudio is living his best life tonight, saying, see, I told you, Jackal, can't handle it. Anyway, KI100, 20% off. I have the packet that they've sent. It comes in this nice box of leather. It opens up. You get a nose trimmer, ear trimmer. I need that shit. I'm getting old, getting hair in my ears. I hate that shit. I'm not a big fan of getting that. So Manscaped, honestly, I put the thing on my hand and tested it. It doesn't clip you in that private area. Your wives and or your significant others can use this in the private area. That's what it is. That's what it's about. Let's keep that going. We are doing. Don't cut off your dick. Get yourself some Manscaped.
Don't do that.
You don't want to do that. There it is. KI100 at manscaped.com. 20% off. And what's Alex Acevedo's free favorite thing? Free shipping. Yeah. Free shipping. Also, on top of that, we will be releasing an original. I hope Manscaped appreciates this. This might take the network into the next level. Original Cool Kennedy, Draft Dr. Phil song, Manscaped. We're producing that next. So I'm excited about that hook, like he said earlier in the show. If you missed it, the Blog Boy song is debuted. We're going to be releasing an album, a TTNL album, the whole network with all the original content, the songs your kids sing, like Bear Up, Bear Down, and Bears Our Live, and Tape Never Lies, yada, 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 down the line. Also, get some swag, like our boy Adam Rank, who continues to promote and shout out this network. Look at Shayne rocking that swag.
The billboard tonight.
He knew it was coming. He's playing June Jones's offense in an empty set. He's empty in regards to swag, but not his boy Dante Jones rocking that swag, showing you his game ball. There's Matt showing you his bald head that's going bald. He's upset about it. Don't manscape your head.
That's what two little girls will do to you.
Dude, your daughter looks
let's answer
exactly
this real quick.
Like you.
I know.
Will you guys be doing every round on that patron mock? And that is a resounding no. That's going to be a one-round mock
we
draft.
We will be covering the draft live every round for the Bears. Yes. But as far as the mock, it's just going to be a first-round mock. Everybody, 32, are going to be the GMs of these teams, and we're going to pick it like you would actually pick for those teams. So you're going to have to do a little prep work and yada, 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 like a nerd would. Nerd alert! Yes, our nerd's been here all night, although everyone's missing this guy.
Smoke weed every day. Smoke weed every day.
Claudio, if you missed it at the top,
Phil played that so he could eat.
Yeah, I was trying to get a. I did. You know me pretty well. You know me pretty well. But I wanted to shout him out. If you missed Claudio tonight, he had a little family issue, and he will be back next week. Don't you worry about that. Now, you know what time it is, guys. It's that time where we start to wrap it up. And here is another Cool Kennedy, Draft Dr. Phil original song. We don't copy or bite or blog anybody.
Shout out Tape Never Lies. Shout out. I know you hear me, baby. Shout out. I know you see me, baby.
Shout out. We gotta holla at you. Keep it 100 crew. Gotta show love too. Shout out. I know you hear me, baby. Shout out. I know you see me, baby. Shout out. We gotta holla at you. Keep it 100 crew. Gotta show love too. From the fans in the stands to the follows on the gram. Thanks for your support, showing love in the DM. We stay Spencer strong, fight together till the end. Now it's time to shout out worldwide friends and fam. Like
the network that keeps it real, 100 crew. So many in the world that I gotta show love to. For some this policy, the show is at its end, but for me it's so important to thank the charter members and the fans. Built the network, speak the truth through the tape. Never run around the truth, no narratives we create. Set them straight, no bubble screen on 4th and 8. Audio Shayne getting nervous cause keeping them up too late. That's it, no more to say to get the shot of vital. But hurry up cause the postman's getting homicidal.
Shout out.
Strong.
I know you hear me, baby. Shout out. I know you see me, baby. Shout out. We gotta holla at you. Keep it 100 crew. Gotta show love too. Shout out. I know you hear me, baby. Shout out. I know you see me, baby. Shout out. We gotta holla at you. Keep it 100 crew. Gotta show love too.
The network that keeps it real. SpencerStrong.
There you go. Claudio's least favorite part, but Shayne's favorite part, because this means we're wrapping up the show. The show has flown by. When I just looked, 3 hours and 22 minutes. How can you entertain over 300 people for that long live? It's insane, and it flew by for me. Guys, we always start our shout outs. I really want people to understand Ryan Cox and his family and what they're going through and what SpencerStrong really means. It is the truth of what a parent goes through. As Matt was joking about his hairline because of his daughters, just imagine the constant trips, concerns, and worries, fears, and doubts that a parent and a family go through when their child is sick with this cancer disease. It's terrible. So this segment, not only is Ryan Cox a true brother to all of us, but this segment is really truly about that and every family and parent that is going through this. So with that, Cars, give us your shout outs this week.
I don't know how you follow that. I think the only one for me, aside from everybody who's just been so great interacting again through the chat, what I love the most about doing this is all the interactions and watching everybody kind of to go. And for me, I posted, but it's my dad passed away 26 years ago today. And this is the whole reason I'm a Bears fan. He's the whole reason I've got the passion for this. We all know sitting in a Sunday watching these games and what that meant and developing your love. And he was the whole reason that I am is tied into them. So for me, that's my shout out for the day.
Awesome. God bless you, man. I saw the picture of you and you look just like your daughter looks in your arms. So
yeah.
I really appreciate exactly. Jackal's taking my words, we're hard asses and have a lot of fun and we joke, but the sincerity of empathy and compassion is the foundation of what being human is. And we see a lot of it gets me so mad. It's so frustrating, the negativity and the nonsense. So we have fun, like locker room nonsense. That's okay. But the hate and the ignorance is just not. And for you to be vulnerable and share that is awesome, man. I really appreciate it. And God bless you in what you're dealing, just thinking about that, I
appreciate that.
Shayne, you got anybody?
Yeah, I'm not really going to shout anybody out. I just want to speak on this network with what we do and who we are. We woke up, like Cars said this morning, to a lot of things unfolding on Twitter with people that we really had earmarked quite a long time ago for the low life pieces of shit that they are. And it's coming to roost. It's been a real long time, but sometimes the karma train doesn't come around as quick as you want it, but sometimes you just got to give it a little bit of time and it'll get there. And you see the person, Mike Brez, who he is for his real colors. And that's a racist piece of shit human being that he is. And we're never going to hold back from naming people and calling it out. That's not what this network does. We're not going to be afraid to call out racism because nobody here on this panel tonight, nobody involved with this network is going to stand for it at any point.
Right.
And when we see it, we'll call it out by name. We've always attacked things like that head on. And that's why we've built this crew here. It's built on integrity and it's built on morals and it's built on dealing with things that aren't comfortable that we've had to deal with within our own walls here at TTNL. Sometimes you have to have that uncomfortable conversation with people and talk about stuff, but we want you guys as listeners to know that we are always here for all of you guys. And we're always going to have your back, no matter the background that you grew up in, no matter the color of your skin. Exactly. We will be there behind you 100% to never step on you. We're going to prop you up. That's what this network is about. And if anybody ever needs to just talk, wants a platform to speak their piece and get their thoughts out there, especially on something like race, that's what we're here for. And that's what TTNL is built on. So I think that that's very important when we see the shit show that unfolded today live on Twitter. Well, that's not who we are here. And I wouldn't want to work with any other crew than what we have right here.
I can't. I'm proud of you and Cars. I can't say, I always go on maybe like a preacher just about ignorance. And I have forgiveness for ignorance. I really do, because some people were raised in a certain way. Things like that are taught. They're not just, right, born. And I always felt like, and this is something I've never really shared, that it pushed me away from religion when people are quoting the Bible and then they're talking shit about somebody that God created, whether they're homosexual or from another country and they don't speak like you. That kind of ignorance is taught. And then when you continue to do that, angry and agitation, like there's no place for that in football. And that's where I always go back to. Football is my religion because every kid is needed, every person, every culture. And when you heard at the top of the show, Tay living out of his fucking car, going to high school, I can't even imagine. I needed my mom to make my bed, wash my clothes. This guy's freaking going, and that story resonates with me. This network does. So we call it for what it is. You all know how I feel. I just don't have any tolerance. I just don't understand how we can't it's not just get along. It's how we just can't stand. Like my quote tonight that I shared from Confucius. It's that simple. Like you see it and you know it's wrong, do something about it. Don't just watch it because you're just as bad. Just do something about it. It goes every way, and that's the reality. Real talk tonight at the end of the show. That's what it is. And I've been around every race of people. Gratefully, my father taught me, love everybody until there's a piece of shit Italian guy and there's a piece of shit Mexican guy and a piece of shit this guy. It's that person that is, not his upbringing. It's the same thing going back to scouting fucking schools. It's like Alabama quarterbacks, we can't. No, it's the same concept for me. It's like you got to look at the person. And there's so many great people out there. Like tonight, Waldman coming on here just blowing me away. You guys in the chat, I can't thank everybody enough. My shout out, though, tonight is to both guests, Tay, Gowan, coming on here, speaking his truth, being vulnerable, and Matt Waldman, like my brother from another. The spiritual connection there is unreal. I want to thank you, Cars, for being vulnerable. I want to thank Cool Kennedy for all his work and effort tonight. I always thank the fans, but tonight I really want to thank people in the network, like Shayne said, that really you guys have no idea how much work, time, and energy is going into this. Cool Kennedy really stepping up for the network, taking on more of a role. I know he's got some video production and some graphic stuff that he's going to do to promote the network. I want to thank Lawrence Fleming, the voice, for his work. We had a Tay coming on. I sent Lawrence that in the morning. Phil, I'll get the voiceover for you. I go, if I have to do it, it's no problem. No, your family. I'll get that to you. Sure enough, he got that to me. I was able to produce it in no time and have it ready for the show. Everybody working together. Claudio, shout out to you. Hopefully everything's okay with you and your family. Berlissimo, dealing with a lot of stuff in his life, really going out of his way to capture some of these great guests, having a scout's eye, who's going to be great for the show. Can't thank him enough. And who else am I missing that is really Ace, Alex Acevedo, working the under routes like a great tight end or slot receiver with the swag stuff. A lot of you have shared your swag. I just can't appreciate you guys. I respect all of you. Just share a friend, tell a friend. Chris Jackal tonight producing, stepping up in the pocket. He was a little afraid to be the what do you call it? The moderator tonight, but he'll get there. We didn't put him on the firing line, but great job in the backgrounds tonight, putting everything up there. He had no mic. All I need is one mic, Nas, right?
That's right.
Everybody in the chat tonight, you were tremendous. Too many of you to thank. There's so many of you guys going and really sharing the network and speak for the truth. That's all I could say. Speak the truth. Karma comes at people that can't. Shayne was right. I'll give him that. And I think that's it. I want to thank you guys for another amazing episode as we move closer to the draft. Me and my father, X's and O's this Saturday, going to be breaking down some draft prospects. I don't know yet who we're going to be breaking down. Tomorrow I'm taking off, and then Friday I'll start cutting tape, and I'll put out a promo of what we're going to do on Saturday and Sunday draft mob with the quarterbacks. We're going to look at Davis Mills and we'll put his tape up there. If you really are about that, you want to check in on that show. All 22 tape, Davis Mills, and Sam Ellinger. We're going to get him up there. That was Waldman's little surprise curveball there. I like that. We're going to look at him. So those two quarterbacks, we'll see them on Sunday. You guys have a great night. We're going to end the show with the world premiere song, In the Reality of Truth, the Block Boy song that has nothing to do with cars. So if you missed the world premiere earlier, we'll see you guys next week with Rashad Whitfield, and maybe my boy T. Nick follows through like a Rex Grossman deep ball and gets Bernard Berrien. That'll be a lot of fun. Have a great night. This is Block Boys. Real quick. David Montgomery, because a lot of these blog boys, these fucking stat trolls, you'll see the fucking blog boys talking about this.
Blog boys and haters, trolls on Twitter, false manipulators. Oh yeah, blog boys and haters, trolls on
for like a sword off. Narrative crusher, so many demons that I'm fought off. Tape never lies, block boys get fucking caught. PFS with the fishes, but they still gonna troll. Putting warrants on top, make them look like an asshole. Nagy calling plays, but no clue on personnel. Running toss the CP, short side behind Leno. These dudes on that block like J-Lo. Montgomery is elite,
cause DDP says so.
Front office nightmare like the haunted of Hill House. Black boys get to step in and take your boy Millhouse. Black boys and haters, trolls on Twitter, fraud manipulators. Oh yeah, black boys and haters, trolls on Twitter, snap manipulators. Oh yeah.
One. Blog boys changing stats like report cards. No PFF, straight F soul and no scorecard. You gotta have heart to play. A little soul like Marvin Gaye goes a long way. Throw the strong fade at an out route. Power, I see the end zone. I hope Maggie takes a smart route. It gives a play cost like McCaskey money. Blog boys and haters talking, but they stats is funny. The tape never lies. Think it's when you get smacked with honey and get swept like the tight end on 4th and 1 tries. We big time. You small fries, Twitter fingers typing for the clout. They never trend, they all cry.
Blind boys and haters, trolls on Twitter, fraud manipulators. Oh yeah, blind boys and haters, trolls on Twitter, snap manipulators. Oh yeah, blind boys and haters, trolls on Twitter, snap manipulators. Oh yeah, blind boys. Come on, haters, feeling it, cool Kennedy. Trolls on Twitter, snap manipulators. Oh yeah, blind boys, block boy, trolls on Twitter, snap manipulators. Oh yeah, block boy, TTNL, Twitter, snap manipulators. Block boy. Blog boys get fucking caught off. TTNL. Always speaking the truth. The tape never lies.